From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F-word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Imagine a disease that affects more than 10 million Americans. More than AIDS, Parkinson's, ALS, MS, and muscular dystrophy combined. Yet few know its name. Some years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And after surgery, she developed lymphedema, LE, a cruel and chronic disease affecting 10 million Americans that occurs when the lymphatic system is compromised, leaving one with a lifetime of severe swelling and pain. What we found out later is its severity might have been lessened, or possibly even prevented, if only we were better informed. That's why I'm urging anyone facing cancer treatment to get educated. Talk to your doctor. Make it part of your cancer conversation. And if you have LE, share your story. With patients and doctors working together, we can learn and live. Learn more at lymphaticnetwork.org.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Greetings and salutations on this very early Friday morning. Welcome in to Sports 56 Mornings as we get you set for the sports weekend, which is rapidly approaching. It's the Friday, September 20th, 2024 edition. I am Greg Gaston alongside my partner Eli Savoy, our producer Zach Boyd. We're in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. The world's biggest spa sale continues. Go visit them this weekend. They'll be glad you did. Also, the first hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Currently 68, but it will heat up. Get up to 91 today, mostly sunny skies. And then tonight, some clouds rolling in, 73 degrees, but a very minimal chance of precipitation. Looks like a nice evening tonight in the Mid-South. Tomorrow, a little bit more clouds, 91 for a high, and then your Sunday is pretty much clouds, maybe a peak of the sun at about 92. Then things will start to cool down a little bit next week. Dry conditions in the forecast. So it looks like the weather is turning for the better, certainly here in the area. I always think the fall is the best weather there is, no matter where you may be. Coming up on the program today, we'll be busy once again. John Varlas at 7:25 on all things happening in the world of prep football. Justin Fuente, former Memphis Tigers head coach, former Virginia Tech head coach. He'll join us at 8:05 to talk about the college football landscape. At 8:30, we'll talk some women's basketball as Alex Simmons, the head coach of the Memphis women's team, will join us. She has put together a very vaunted schedule for her players and her team, and that includes the tip-off for the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, with all the proceeds going to St. Jude after the Memphis men play North Carolina. The Memphis women in an exhibition will play South Carolina, the defending national champions, on October 15th. We'll talk to Alex about how that came about. And then at 9:05, we'll play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. At 9:25, you know him, you love him. You can't live without him. Handicapper Brandon Lang joins us to break down some of the big college football and NFL games this weekend. Week 3 of the NFL season underway after last night's Jets win over the Pats. A little college football last night as well. Got 3 games on tap for tonight. And also some Grizzlies news as well that we'll get to a little bit later on in the show. They will have their media day a week from Monday, so camp is right around the corner. And, of course, we got some big news from Major League Baseball that we'll kick off the show with in just a moment. But first, say hello to Eli Savoy. How are you, man?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah? Good day yesterday?
It was a great day yesterday, as a matter of fact.
We always seem to have the opposites. When you have a great day, I have a really bad day. Yesterday was a really bad day, but good evening last night, bounced back, and hopefully today will be a better day. I'll be headed with the team to Annapolis, beautiful Annapolis, Maryland, for the Memphis Navy game tomorrow. If you didn't hear or didn't get a chance to hear our interview with Ryan Silverfield from yesterday, Tigers head football coach, just go to our website, sportsmemphis.com. It's under featured audio, and you can check it out. So last night, we had one of the greatest individual game performances in the history of Major League Baseball, and it's a long history. Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers last night went 6 for 6, hit 3 home runs, knocked in 10 runs, stole 2 bases, and he's obliterated the 50-50 because he is now the first player in Major League Baseball history to hit at least 50 home runs and have 50 stolen bases, and he's now up to 51 in both categories. Is there a chance for 60-60, Eli?
Well, if you keep having games like that, yes, you could get to 60-60 in a hurry. Yeah, that's a pretty incredible stat line from yesterday, and almost took it even one step further. He got thrown out trying to stretch one of his doubles into a triple. Otherwise, he would have had the cycle with that performance, which I don't know, like you could ever possibly beat that if you went 6 for 6 with 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, hit for the cycle, and drove in 10 runs. Yeah, it's that's incredible stuff, and 50-50 it's just amazing. It's just absolutely amazing to think, takes the year off from pitching because of the Tommy John surgery, and just goes out and has a 50-50 season, the first ever in Major League Baseball history. He is ridiculous.
Yeah, and he's on target to return to pitching certainly next year, but maybe in the postseason for an inning or 2 in relief. He's not going to start or anything, I don't believe. So he is phenomenal. Look, here's a guy who has taken the league by storm. He hasn't been in the league that long. What would you say if Shohei Ohtani retired today or couldn't play anymore today? Is he a Hall of Famer?
I mean, I don't know. He's not retiring today, so it doesn't matter.
I know, but it's interesting because he certainly doesn't have the years and the total numbers, but he has the impact. He's one of the most impactful players ever. And when it's all said and done, if he continues to play the way he's played and gets back to pitching at the level he was pitching at before the Tommy John surgery, he could conceivably go down as the greatest player ever to play the game. That's not far-fetched.
Not at all. I mean, like he will have his 3rd MVP award this season. He'll have won it in both leagues. That's on top of everything else, on top of the night last night that he had individually. He also clinches his first ever postseason berth, so we get to see him in the postseason for the first time this year. But yeah, I mean, if he comes back to pitching and does anything like he was, and you would expect that's probably the case. Guys come back from Tommy John surgery all the time and are as good or sometimes even better than what they were. And he continues to hit like this, which, again, I don't know why he wouldn't continue to hit like this. I don't know how many, he might win the next, I don't know how many MVP awards. Like, if he's healthy, especially if he's pitching and hitting, he could be the MVP every single season. I don't know, how you would not vote for him if he's one of the best pitchers in the game and is arguably the best hitter in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, and people know this about social media, is you throw something out there, it's going to be around for a long time. They're going to find it. And Awful Announcing found some freezing cold takes. These are real. Freezing cold takes about Shohei Ohtani. It's not from last week, but it's over the years since he's been in the bigs. Mike Francesa. The Yankees are lucky they didn't get Ohtani. The Sporting News. He's basically like a high school hitter. All right, let me get a few more in here. If my internet will work. This is a great one from, come on. All right, hang on. This is from Keith Olbermann. Ohtani will be a pinch-hitting pitcher by midseason. Again, this is a couple years ago, but still. This one, maybe the worst. I think he's, Ohtani, one of the most overrated players in the history of professional sports in America. Here's another one. You remember, and these are prominent names in the business that cover baseball and know baseball. So I'm not just throwing out Joe Q. Public's opinions. Bill James. You remember how a year ago everybody was all excited about Shohei Ohtani being the next Babe Ruth? That was fun. On and on and on. Freezing cold takes about Shohei Ohtani. Unreal.
Yeah, I mean, again, the idea of him stealing the bases now, like adding in oh yeah, by the way, can also steal 50 bases.
Right.
It's just, I mean, you can run a little, you can run, like he certainly had that ability, but like the idea of him stealing 50 bases is just crazy. You know, I mean, so the last 4 years, he'll have gone first, second, first in MVP voting.
Is that good?
And again, he'll have done it in both leagues. The funny thing is, the year that he was second in the MVP voting was the year he was fourth in Cy Young Award voting. So, like that was the year he was the best pitcher as far as pitching goes, the best year he had pitching wise, and he didn't win the MVP award somehow that season. It's just
well, hopefully we don't get to a point where voters get tired of him and think to themselves, I better vote for somebody different. I need somebody different. That should never be the case. If you have a vote, you should never think that way. But I'm telling you, some do think that way. It's almost fatigue, Shohei fatigue. I want to find somebody else.
I mean, he leads the league in runs, home runs, RBIs, second in stolen bases. Leads in slugging percentage, OPS, like everything. This is, I mean, just an unbelievable offensive season that he's put together. And again, there's no reason to believe he won't come back and be a really good pitcher once again, starting next year.
Look, Shohei, for several reasons, baseball is losing its popularity. He's not an American. He's a Japanese player. But in that L.A. market, with all those great superstars, he's certainly cutting into LeBron a little bit. Not that they can't both be worshipped, and they are. But LeBron's still that biggest name there. But Shohei's not far behind. Shohei, around the nation, maybe not as much. Certainly not as much as LeBron. But in L.A., remember Fernando Mania? It's certainly Shohei Mania with the Dodgers. And you mentioned the Dodgers clinching, of course. That was going to happen eventually. But you have had in the last couple of days Dodgers, Yankees, Brewers, Guardians all clinch spots. In the postseason, we have a little over a week. 2 weekends left. Week from Sunday, the Major League Baseball season will be done. Still got some races going on. for wild cards in both the American League and National League. But Shohei Ohtani stole the show on Thursday.
If he does, and again, I don't think there's any chance they will, but they are not. Dave Roberts said, there is that very slim chance. But if he does end up pitching in the postseason, like comes in and does, it'll be crazy.
No, absolutely.
I can't imagine they would take that chance.
No,
but
because if they do, and all of a sudden he is injured because maybe he came back too quickly, the kind of pressure that would be on, if it was a Dave Roberts decision, the pressure would be on ownership and management, and people would want him fired, to be honest with you, if you did something like that. So I don't know. I think they're going to be very cautious. They have a lot of good pitchers. They've been beaten up with injuries throughout the year, but they're getting healthier for the postseason.
Raider Corey texted says, I would advise Ohtani to not pitch and focus exclusively on hitting. If he must pitch, I would let him close games, but being a starter, I would advise against it, considering he's already had Tommy John surgery. What an amazing player. Again, I mean, pitchers come back from Tommy John surgery. Like, hell, every pitcher, it seems like in Major League Baseball, has had Tommy John surgery at some point now. Like, it just is it's part of the growing phase of becoming a Major League pitcher, seemingly, that you're going to have Tommy John surgery, and guys come back and starting pitchers are just fine after it for many years. I don't think it would be any concern to have him pitching because he's had Tommy John surgery. Heck, some guys, I think, come back better after Tommy John surgery.
It's not your father's Tommy John surgery. It's changed the way they deal with the way they operate, how they do it. I don't know. I'm not a surgeon. But I know that there's been so much advancement in medicine and technology and the way they do these surgeries. A lot of them are invasive, not non-invasive. And you have Achilles injuries, which used to take you out for your career, guys coming back from Achilles injuries now. So they're coming back from the Tommy John surgeries. Okay. Last night, NFL Week 3 kicked off. Jets, Patriots, not much of a game. The Jets over the Patriots in a dominating performance. You had, number one, the defense just completely stymieing the Patriots. And then you had Aaron Rodgers looking like Aaron Rodgers. And that, I know, has the NFL abuzz to see Aaron Rodgers get back to old form after last year's Achilles injury that I just talked about, with Achilles injuries and bouncing back from them. Here's a guy who's old and did not look old. He even tucked and ran with the ball a couple of times. 27 of 35, 281, 2 touchdowns. And for New England, they just could not get anything going. Tough for Jacoby Brissett. He was pressured an awful lot, just 12 of 18 for 98 yards. Drake May got in the game very late and got drilled several times, completed a few passes. Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard caught touchdown passes from Aaron Rodgers. So the Jets, a lot of people expect them to be really, really good as long as Rodgers stays upright. And with that defense, they at least showed it last night. And I do like the exchange when Rodgers threw one of his touchdowns and comes off the field. I think it made it 14-0. And Robert Saleh, they get that little fist bump. And then Saleh goes in for the hug. And Aaron Rodgers, you can see his face going, no, sir. I don't think he has any problem with a hug. He had a problem with, this is still early in the game. Don't jump to any kind of conclusions. Yeah, you want to give me a high five or a fist bump, that's fine. We're not hugging it out on the sideline. We're not celebrating. We got a long way to go. That shows you the veteran leadership of Aaron Rodgers, and maybe a little bit of insecurity for Robert Saleh. He's so excited to see that the Jets are competing that he's maybe jumped to conclusions or did something that he normally wouldn't do because he's so excited to see the positives brewing. And some others would probably do the same thing. So I'm not faulting Saleh. But Rodgers, if you haven't seen that video, look at his face when they're about to embrace, or at least on Saleh's part about to embrace. But Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers is certainly going to be a nice little wrinkle in this 2024 NFL season.
Yeah, they talked about it afterwards. They laughed about it. And Rodgers said he's not a big hugger usually, so I didn't know he was going for the hug. He likes to do the two-hand chest push as well. He talks a lot about 2-score lead, so I kind of gave him a push and said 2-score lead.
Right.
So, yeah, it was nothing to it whatsoever.
No. Not like it's soured their relationship or anything. But I thought that was very interesting. But it also shows, again, who Aaron Rodgers is.
But I'm sure for Jets fans, it was very nice to see a little vintage Aaron Rodgers that they've been waiting to see. So that had to be good. I mean, that looked a lot like Aaron Rodgers. He even said it kind of felt like him from 5 years ago. So for Jets fans, it's got to be a big relief to see that happen. The Patriots are absolutely terrible. I still don't understand how the Bengals lost to them, and I still don't understand why they're starting Jacoby Brissett, but has nothing to do with me.
Patriots could have been 2-0 to start the season, but now 1-2. And Rodgers, the way he's moving, now you hold your breath every time he runs with the ball, but he actually moved pretty darn well yesterday. One college game last night, Major Applewhite in South Alabama defeated Appalachian State 48-14. So they continue to score a lot of points. Both teams now 2-2 on the season. Tonight, Stanford and Syracuse. Illinois and Nebraska. That's a battle of top 25 teams. Illinois 24th. Nebraska 22nd. Nebraska will host in Lincoln. And then San Jose State and Washington State, soon to be conference mates. They will go at it out there on the left coast.
That Syracuse-Stanford storied ACC rivalry. I mean, it's one of the great ACC rivalries of all time, quite frankly. Just love when those two get together. And you can't help but think, like, this is ACC football when Syracuse and Stanford meet on the football field.
It's tradition. It's history. You got to love that. The pomp and circumstance of college football. And right there at the top, you think Army, Navy, Ohio State, Michigan, you got to think Stanford, Syracuse. From the NBA, Shams reporting. I'd like to say it was Woj, but we know what happened there. Joel Embiid signing a contract extension with the Sixers. 3 years, $193 million maximum extension with a player option in the 28-29 season. So for those who thought that maybe Embiid was soured with the direction Philadelphia was going in and all that stuff, you can forget about it. Plus, they went out there and they got Paul George, whether or not that makes a difference for them in their battles with Boston and a few of the other elites of the East. I don't know. But Embiid staying in Philadelphia, that's big for the Sixers.
It's pretty good work if you could find it. $190 million over 3 years. So I would take it. I would be willing to stay, quite frankly, anywhere.
I'd play in Antarctica, for goodness sakes.
For $190 million over 3 years, I think I could sacrifice 3 years of my life if I was in the worst spot in the world if you're going to pay me $190 million to do it.
There is no question about it. When you hear these contracts and these extensions, it sounds like funny money. It sounds like we're talking about Monopoly, beyond Monopoly. It's hard to comprehend how much money we're talking about, what those checks each 2 weeks or each month, whatever they get, what they are. I mean, you're just seeing all those zeros. Crazy.
It's, again, we are probably not, I mean, at some point, we're probably going to we could get to $100 million a year in the NBA.
No question about it.
It's going to be some amazing deals. I know those guys could easily afford a Big Green Egg.
Can they?
And they could buy Big Green Eggs. See, that's what Joel should do. That's what you should buy. We always see like guys buy teammates prizes or gifts and stuff like that.
Right.
I'd buy a Big Green Egg.
Good gift.
That would be a hell of a deal.
That's a good gift.
That is a great thing. Now, of course, a lot of these people have their own personal chefs, things like that. So I don't know how much they're actually doing the grilling. But if you are doing the grilling, you should be doing it on a Big Green Egg. It's the best grill there is. Has the lifetime guarantee, so you don't have to worry about replacing it every few years like you do with a lot of these other grills that rust out. So again, that certainly makes it worth it. If you've thought about it, hey, can it really be worth the price? It is. I'm telling you, it is. Only regret I ever had is that I didn't do it way earlier when I got my Big Green Egg. Absolutely love the Big Green Egg. The 7 different sizes, so whatever size you're looking for, whatever grill, however many people you're grilling for on a regular basis, they've got a size for you, all the egg accessories, everything you need to be producing the great food off of your grill to make you the hit of the family, the hit of the neighborhood. It is the Big Green Egg. Go to BigGreenEgg.com, or you can go to the Ace Hardware stores here in town or Hamilton Fireplace to see it in person, the Big Green Egg.
When we come back, John Varlas from the Daily Memphian joins us. If there's a game you want him to break down, you want to talk a little prep football. John will answer your questions. Just hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Text in your question. John Varlas next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Your house, your office building? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 1-524-6799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com. Summer may be over, but yard work, it goes on. Don't worry, Colonial Hardware makes it easy for you. Colonial Hardware has all the lawn and garden tools you need from the best brands in the business. Ferris, Snapper, Husqvarna, Toro, Deco, Shindaiwa, and Billigo. Servicing most brands of lawn equipment, Colonial's master service techs will keep you going year-round. Colonial Hardware, family-owned and operated, and serving you for nearly 50 years. Next to Bass Pro Lake at Sycamore View, and online at colonialhardwareinc.com.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporty luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still trying to wrap up this crash over here, blocking a lane of traffic on 240 eastbound at Getwell. Again, it's got traffic slow over here on this side of town on 240 eastbound at Getwell on the scene of this crash as it cranks up pretty good now on 385 Bill Morris Parkway as you come in from Collierville, working your way down Summer Avenue right now inbound. That's picked up also. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. Go see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Greg, Eli, Zach with you for the next 2.5 hours. Of course, it's Friday, right smack in the middle of high school football season, so you know what that means. Time for John Varlas.
It might be too.
With John Varlas on Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep sports coverage and much more at dailymemphian.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis, where the pros and preps go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is the award-winning Daily Memphian prep reporter, but so much more. He's John Varlas. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Catch him every Friday all year long with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning to you, JV. And, of course, John Varlas is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis.
Yes, indeed. Now open in Cordova. A brand new 50,000 square foot facility is up and running and going strong. They've got the full-size regulation NBA courts. They've got the regulation size high school courts. They've got the shooting bays and all of the same great technology that you've come to know and love there at the Collierville location out there on Market Street. The Cordova location's out there on Big Orange Road, so easy access if you're coming from Houston Levee, from Collierville or Germantown, or if you're coming from Germantown Parkway from the city, you know, real easy to find, and they will get your shot right. They've got, you know, the same data, the same same high-tech information that pros like Steph Curry use to improve their shooting ability. And guys, let's face it, that is the most important thing you can do right now in the game of basketball is shoot the basketball. So give them a call. 901-779-3176 is the Cordova location. 901-316-5500 at Collierville. Shoot 360 Memphis. They'll get you right. Tell them JV sent you, and it's almost basketball season, so it's a good time to get in there to shoot 360 Memphis. Monthly memberships, longer term memberships, whatever you got, they'll take care of you, and they'll get your basketball game where it should be.
50,000 square feet, just smaller than John's house.
The palatial estate.
Hey, how about that? The palatial estate was without power again. Last night.
No!
So
hard to light a 50,000 square foot.
Yeah, so little bit of a bone to pick last night.
Uh-oh.
So yesterday was my wife's birthday, and we.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, thanks.
John? What's your wife's first name? Jennifer. Happy birthday, Jennifer.
Yeah. Well, thank you. She'll appreciate that because she likes to listen sometimes. But no, we're trying to celebrate her birthday yesterday. We went out and had some fun. Did some stuff out of the house, and then we come home and the power's out. So you call up MLGW and you get this little message that says there are 9 outages and it's affecting like 1,700 people. And you're one of them.
You're a lucky winner. Welcome to the club. Congratulations.
And you're one of them. So it's like, you can't, I'm not going to win I'm not going to win any money if the odds are like, 1 out of 9,000 or whatever. But,
the best
certainly the power is going to be out, right?
The best is if your power's out and like you go online and you see like there's like 42 people affected and you're one of them. You're like, that's defying the odds right there. I've nailed it today.
That's bad luck. That's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, my wife went online and it was like 99.4% of the area had power, but guess who didn't? But thank God it came on after about an hour or so. We had the candles out. We were prepared to take our showers and get ready for bed in the dark. But thank goodness the lights came back on, and so we made it. Thankfully, they'll stay on because I need lights and power to do my work tonight. So
you're doing it by the light of their birthday candle. You had birthday candles lit.
Yeah, it's like
just don't blow those out.
It's like Abe and Mary Todd Lincoln over there.
Full school 7 years ago.
Little Laura Ingalls Wilder.
I had the other day, maybe I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, like all of a sudden, middle of nothing. There's no storm. There's nothing going on. Power went out,
well, yeah.
And then it popped back on, and then it went off, and then went on. It did that like for a couple of hours, and then it went off, and I'm like, all right. Then it went back on. I'm changing my clocks back, and then it goes off again. I mean, it did that for about 3 hours straight.
Well, and changing the clocks, that's the worst thing because, I mean, as you guys can imagine, I'm kind of anal about certain things, and one of them is the clocks. So you got the clock on the microwave and the clock on the stove,
exactly.
And it just drives me crazy if there's like a 30-second gap when one changes and the other one changes.
Yes.
So my wife's laughing at me because I'm like hovering with my finger over one of the clocks. It's like it goes to 7, and I'll just like stab at it.
I'm like that.
So trying to like get
it. Yeah, you see, one's 8:30, one's 8:31. Oh man, you got to go back there. Yeah, sink them.
And who knows even what time it is now because we've had to change the clock. So our power's been out 3 times in the last week since that so-called hurricane went through last weekend. So yeah, so frustrating, but thank you to the workers who restored us, and I just implore you to please continue to restore it and keep it on.
So please keep my power on.
Real quick story. We'll get to high school football here in just a second. So yesterday, it was bad. I had leaked through the roof of my house from upstairs to the downstairs.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The hot water heater went out.
Oh, gosh.
So, I mean, just a bad day.
Yeah.
Bad day. So we get the people to come in. They change the hot water heater. So they get that done. But now we have to have a guy come in, cut a hole through the wall, all that stuff like that. Cut a hole through the ceiling. Because we get mold and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, but when the guys were there for the hot water tank, they were like, "Where is your water meter? Not the on-off valves or anything like that. Like the water meter." I'm like, "Water meter? What's on the side of the house?" No, they go, "That's MLG. That's electrical. The water meter." I'm like, "I don't know." And then he walks around because I'm in this like little cul-de-sac, little cove with about 8 other houses, and the little metal things on the ground, the little round things, right? Every one of the driveways have them, but I don't have one.
Oh.
So I'm like, I don't know. We're looking around. I got 3 people, 3 workers, my wife, me. We're walking around going, I don't know. I've never been asked this before. We still haven't found it. Contacted MLGW. They're showing me pictures of what it could look like. We don't have those.
It's been stolen.
So, I don't know where it is. So I got to call MLGW to come. The person to come over. It might be like where, like stuff has grown over it, like trees, like in our nice little garden area. So anyway, I was like, that's the kind of day I had yesterday. I couldn't even find the darn stuff to help them out.
Just like an Easter egg hunt.
It was. Seriously, we're walking around. We still never found it.
To tie your thing into high school football.
Yeah.
Last week with the Christian Brothers game against Hillcrest, we had half the lights go out in the stadium, and they kept playing the game. We played half the game in half darkness last week. It was the second half. It was the second half of the game. Like all of a sudden, the lights on the home side just went out. The other side were still on, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to delay the game or not. They said, nope, we're playing. It was raining. Everything else. For me. I was like, it's pretty darn dark out there, but they were still playing and had no problems.
Wow!
Shout out to Christian Brothers and Hillcrest for making that work.
And the funny thing was, it's the same weekend because it was the Southern Heritage Classic weekend when a few years ago when we had a full power outage and they ended up having to cancel the rest of the game because I remember the lights went out when Deion Sanders showed up at the game that year. And so this last week, Southern Heritage Classic weekend, Friday night, and the lights go out in the stadium. So Southern Heritage Classic weekend, for some reason, there's a jinx on Tom Nick Stadium.
Did Coach Prime blame the media for the outage?
No, the night that happened, everybody thought that they turned out the lights because his arrival, like they were doing something. And I was like, no, they didn't turn the lights out because Deion got here. Like I was like, we're in trouble. We may not be playing any more football. So Deion that night got to see no football.
All right, so we got some games yesterday, a bunch obviously tonight. Let's go into some of these battles, including Houston obviously is a really good football team. Whitehaven has been a great football program. I'm not going to say it was a down year last year, but certainly not what we're used to. What Whitehaven this year, how good are they, and what do you expect tonight?
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say it's been a down couple of years for Whitehaven. I mean, the last 2 years they've been 5-5, and they've missed. Missed the playoffs, and that's not Whitehaven, and that's not what they strive for over there. That's not the standard of excellence they have for their program. They look at themselves as, and rightfully so, as one of the big boys. And it's and it's good to see them playing some really good football this year. I mean, that's the game I'm going to be at. The most important thing, obviously, Greg, is both of those teams are 2-0 in the region. So the winner of this game is going to be 3-0 in the region as we approach the halfway mark of the season. So that's going to be huge in terms of securing yourself a playoff spot and potentially a home playoff game because you finish in the top 2. So the game is big from that standpoint. But what I'm excited about seeing most is the matchup of that outstanding Houston defense, which was so great in the playoffs last year against Christopher Talley, the Whitehaven running back. So check this out. Christopher Talley through 4 games, he's averaging well over 200 yards per game. He's at 951 total yards through 4 games. So my public school math tells you he's close to 1,000 yards in just 4 games. I mean, he's putting up numbers.
It's impressive.
Got 13 touchdowns. Really fast kid. We talked about before how he qualified for spring fling in the spring as a hurdler, so he's got that track speed. A terrific offensive line this year at Whitehaven as well. That's really opening up the holes and the running lanes for Christopher. So I'm excited to see him play and see how Houston and the defensive coordinator there, Coach Kleeman, schemes up and tries to figure out a way to stop Christopher Talley because nobody's been able to do it. I mean, he ran wild again last week against White Station, scored 4 touchdowns, had another 200+ yard game. He had a 96-yard touchdown run in there. I mean, he's just been incredible, and I mean, he is legitimately playing himself into some possible Mr. Football consideration. Just on the sheer numbers that he's putting up. So I'm excited to see that matchup. It should be a really good night out there at Houston. The weather's going to be awesome, like you were talking about earlier. So yeah, it should be a fun game out there.
I got to ask you about this because I believe I read this correctly in your little your preview. Mitchell and FACS, which is the only battle of undefeateds, I believe. Mitchell is allowing -4 yards per game.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Of total,
I was like, what?
total defense. They're the number one. They're the number.
What?
Yeah, they're the number one yardage defense in our area.
I would hope so. If you're at -4, I would hope that's number 1 in the area.
That's
well,
nuts.
Well, shout out to our stats guru Keith Gentry, who compiles all that for us. He watches the videos. He goes and stats all the games. And
Keith's incredible.
Yeah, and these are legit numbers. So Eli, that. So hold on to your hats. That total for Mitchell there is bolstered because they're allowing -50 yards per game on the ground. So so far 3 opponents, Mitchell's 3 opponents have simply not been able to run the ball against them.
Obviously,
but now here's the kicker about that game and the fun part in which makes that such an interesting game. FACS has the number 1 total offense in our area. FACS is averaging well over 400 yards per game of total offense. They've got a super potent offense with J.J. Davis and Jaden Santucci at quarterback and some of those guys. I mean, their offense has just been lights out through the 2 games that they've played. So as they say in the sports world tonight, something's got to give between the Crusaders
I love those kind of matchups.
and the Tigers. No, it should be a really fun matchup. And this matchup wasn't even originally on the schedule too. FACS lost an opponent, and I can't remember all the details, but they lost an opponent from last year's schedule, so they picked up Mitchell this year, and it should be a really interesting, kind of under the radar small school battle. But yeah, no, if you're in the vicinity of FACS and you want to see a real true contrast of styles, yeah, that should be a good one.
I can't even -50 yards per game.
Well, I mean,
I assume the caliber of competition they played is not that strong.
No, it hasn't been that strong, and they're 3-0.
The challenge will be tonight.
They're a good defensive team. They were last year too. I mean, Mitchell had a really strong season last year as well. So yeah, no, they're a representative team, and it should be a good game.
And speaking of FACS, I do want to say with, of course, Mitch McDaniel there, Thomas McDaniel over at Christian Brothers. Their father, who passed away last Friday. I can't imagine what last Friday was like for those guys to try and coach a game after that. But their dad, he's a great guy. I got to know him and got to hang out with him. If you did, great guy. And just want to send our best to the McDaniel family. I know the services will be this weekend, but certainly I can't even imagine what last Friday was like for those guys.
No, well, and I texted with. I emailed Coach McDaniel at Christian Brothers and texted with his brother at FACS, and they both said that, Eli, it was an incredibly hard day, and they were so proud of their dad, and he really. I never met their dad, but just from seeing their social media posts and talking to him a little bit electronically, he really did. Some great things here in the community, and he introduced these guys to football and kind of cultivated their love of football and coaching and that kind of game. So yeah, thoughts and prayers to Thomas McDaniel and at CBHS and Mitch McDaniel, his brother at FACS. 2 really great guys, 2 really great coaches. All their families, their children, and yeah, it's tough, and they have to do it again tonight. Eli coaching another game tonight with a heavy heart, and then like you mentioned, services Saturday. I think the services are actually going to be at FACS, and then there's a reception to follow it at Christian Brothers. So yeah.
All right,
somebody texted in. You said the Houston is at home, right? They're hosting Whitehaven.
Houston is indeed at home at beautiful Landers Field. I wonder if they're going to trot out the horse again this week. I haven't gotten any word on that.
Was Chief Osceola on top?
Well, I haven't heard. I mean, it may have been just for the opening. It may have just been for the home opener. But for the home opener a couple of weeks ago, apparently the softball coach has a horse, and she rode out on a Mustang.
Nice.
and really kind of
started tradition.
Yeah, really kind of got things going. So if they do that again, I'll be excited to see it. I missed it last time.
Wow.
How many schools have Landers as the sponsor? Like the stadium.
Well, I know Houston and Collierville do, right?
Houston, Collierville, Christian Brothers.
Christian Brothers.
Yeah.
So I was going to say,
is there one more? Maybe there's just 3 of them.
Well, there's the whole Landers complex down in DeSoto County, right? The Landers Arena or something like that.
Well, Landers Center.
Yeah, certainly. But I brought that up because making sure that everyone knew that it was Whitehaven at Houston, but also Collierville on Landers Stadium or Landers Field, whatever they call it. They host Arlington tonight as well.
Yep, undefeated Collierville. They, after their first 3 games, which were really, really competitive against Decatur, Riverside, and Hendersonville Beach, and of course Bartlett. They had a bit of a breather last week against Douglas, so they'll jump back into region play tonight. Collierville's a really good football team, Greg, and it's interesting. So it's one of these situations where I think you see sometimes in sports where you have a team one year and it's filled with stars and highly recruited guys and things of that nature, and for some reason it just doesn't mesh together like you think it might, and then those guys graduate and move on to college, and the guys that are left, seemingly they're playing even better, and it's it's not a bunch of stars this year at Collierville, not a bunch of highly recruited guys, but just a bunch of junkyard dog football players. Grant Troutman at quarterback with the confidence he has, and Samuel Ero, leading the defense. He's been tremendous this year. Emmanuel Palmer, wide receiver, kind of come out of nowhere to have a great season. So, just guys that maybe didn't have big names and big reputations heading into the season, but they're certainly making their case on the field. And Collierville's had a great year so far.
Whatever football game you may be going to tonight, if you're going to do a little tailgating, you need to have some treats for dessert. How about caramel apples from Dinstall's? It's caramel apple season. Fall's right around the corner, and it's the best time, I believe, for the caramel apple season. They're finally here. Tart Granny Smith apples dipped in fresh, chewy caramel, and you could pick from a number of different types of caramel apples. You can have just the plain caramel. You could have the caramel with pecans, which would be my choice. The caramel with the chocolate, or the ultimate turtle apple, which is caramel, pecans, and chocolate. You can get it all at Dinstall's, plus caramel with chocolate and cashew crunch. You can buy that cashew crunch separately as well. But whatever it is that tickles your fancy, they have it for you at Dinstall's. Fine candies and chocolates, the perfect taste of fall. Again, great for tailgating, for high school football, for college football, or just bringing it home to the family. So certainly take advantage of caramel apple season right now at Dinstall's. They're located in Collierville, in Germantown, downtown Memphis, Pleasant View, where they make the candies, and in East Memphis as well. It's Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates. They've been making these great delectables for over 122 years. More with John Varlas when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill and I buy houses.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte, RE 794, 626, MSRP 21,820, Telluride RG 543,666, MSRP 39,835, Sportage S734,0278, MSRP 29,135, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, includes tax, title, and license, must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 9/30/24, dealer.com.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear it's a family affair over there in Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah.
Yep, we've got something for everyone. 41 MPG Highway and a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. 2025 Kia Sportage, $269 per month, $34.99 due at signing. And a 2024 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $359 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite rear-wheel drive has 0% for 72 months available. You haven't heard 0% in a long time.
Plus, all those bad boys come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
They're taking care of business in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Samora.
More with John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. It's a Friday prep day here in Memphis, around the whole state, around the whole country, and we've been breaking down, or John's been breaking down games for you. Somebody did text in at 901-360-8255. Wanted to know about last night's Melrose game, I guess, against Wooddale. Is that what they wanted, Eli?
Yeah.
Melrose?
Yeah. Well, Melrose won 40-0. Great game for Ryan Brown, 4 touchdown runs. Seems like Ryan's getting his Ryan's getting his game back cranked up after a little bit of a slow start to his season, and if he plays well, it's just gravy. Jamarian Morrow, the transfer, he's still dealing with a bit of an injury bug there. The hope is that he will be back for next week's big non-region homecoming contest against Southwind. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that's the case. But no, yeah, Melrose with a good region win last night against Wooddale. They're up to 3-2, and certainly, yeah, you keep stacking those region wins, and you'll be in good shape.
Another stat, we had the Mitchell with the negative 4 yards per game, but Fairleigh. So Fairleigh last 13 wins have all been shutouts.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, Eli. So last year they went 10-3, and in all 10 games that they won, they shut out the opposition, and that includes their postseason games. This year so far they're 3-0, and they've pitched 3 shutouts now. So they've had lost games in there, but you've got to score. Apparently,
if you just find a way to score against them, you beat them.
If you score, you might it might turn into a game at some point. But no, Fairleigh, their defense is only slightly less impressive than Mitchell's. They're giving up a whopping 7 yards per game through the first 3 games. No points, obviously, and what excites me about Fairleigh going forward this year more than the defense, Eli, because we kind of figured the defense was going to be good because they had so many guys coming back that have with experience and talented players, but their quarterback Andrew Johnson has really kicked his game up a notch or two this year. I mean, he's legitimately playing himself into some 2A Mr. Football consideration. He's 71% of his passes he's completing, 13 touchdowns already. He's yet to throw an interception. He's throwing for over 270 yards per game, and with Troyce Grimsley and Julian Porter and Mike Parker and those guys out there catching the passes. I mean, it looks like they have a really, really good offense this year to complement that defense. So I think it's going to be a really interesting game tonight with North Point making the trip over to John P. Freeman. North Point won that game, this game corresponding week last year. They scored against Fairleigh, and they scored enough to win the game. So I know Fairleigh maybe has had this one circled on the calendar a little bit. And Fairleigh with 2 tough games in a row coming up. North Point this week and Covington out of region next week. So these will be good tests for Fairleigh, and it seems like the good team. It seems like they're putting it together.
Well, speaking of Covington, we have our buddy John who did text in about Covington versus Bolivar Central.
Well, I'm not going to pick against Covington at this point. So I mean, I appreciate John texting, but the answer is going to be the same because those guys are playing some great football. You know what they did last week against poor Scotts Hill. Scoring 60 points in the first half and just dominating the action from start to finish. I mean, that's what good teams do. I mean, you're going to have these games on your schedule where you're playing somebody that's frankly overmatched and you frankly have more talent than them, but you want to see the teams go out and dominate those games, and that's what Covington did last week. Another great game for Skyland Smith at running back. His brother Jaheim Smith had 2 pick sixes, and it looks like he's going to step right into that running back role next year when Skyland graduates. So yeah, they just really got it clicking over there at Covington, and they're up to number 3 in the state rankings this week in Class 3A. So yeah, I think they have a really good team. I'm excited to see what they do. I'd really love to get out to Covington next week and see all the great folks and cover that game against Fairleigh. The problem is it's just a long drive, and when you're working on deadline on Friday nights and you got a lot to do, it's driving back home from Covington is going to eat into some time, but I'd really like to find a way to make it happen because I'd really like to see those guys play.
Real quick, who in 3A around the state is going to be their obstacles to win a state championship?
Alcoa, obviously, that's the 600-pound gorilla. They're the number 1 team in the state. They always will be, probably as long as they have a program. East Nashville is the 2nd-ranked team in the state. And here locally, East, we talked about last week, is one of the pleasant surprises. They're putting together a really good season. Bolton is ranked number 10 in the state. Bolton is 4-0. They had a game
Bolton?
Yeah, they had a game that was rescheduled on Monday, and they won it, so they're 4-0. They beat Port Wooddale. Wooddale had to play twice in a week. They played Bolton on Monday, and then they have to turn around and play Melrose on Thursday. Safety.
right.
But no, but no.
We were talking about that last week.
Hats off to Coach C.J. Marshall. When he got that Bolton job, Greg, if I'm not mistaken, he was like 25, 26 years old. Like super young, and he's still probably not even 30 years old. But he's just doing a really good job, redefining that culture out there and building that program. Yeah, they're cooking up something.
Any issues tonight with Sheffield?
Any issues with Sheffield?
For Bolton.
Well, that's going to be a good game because Sheffield has Rodarius Jackson. Obviously, Sheffield's got a ton of talent. And they went into the season as probably the favorite in that region, but they've not got off to the start that I think they've hoped for. So
it could be a good game.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good game.
Okay, one other game before we let you go. Middle College at ECS.
Yeah, my friend who I work out with, her son plays at ECS, and it's funny. It's like she's like, "Why are we playing them on homecoming? They're good." And it's like, yeah, Middle College is good. They're undefeated. Like Fairleigh, they haven't given up a point all year. They're 4-0 with 4 shutouts. The competition, probably hasn't been as strong as what ECS has faced, so that may give ECS an edge. But they're coming in there with a lot of talent. Rico Isom is a really good running back. Obviously, the defense has been super impressive. I really liked what I saw from ECS last week in the loss to Lausanne. They never quit battling. I'm really super high on this kid named William, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. It's either Cheers or Chairs. It's spelled kind of weird. It's got a lot of vowels in there. But, he made some really good plays, at receiver and on defense as well. The quarterback, Cade Butler, is solid. They got some dudes over there at ECS, and they really played well in a losing effort, I thought, against Lausanne. So that should be a good game for homecoming out there at Legends Field tonight.
I don't know how this guy does it. John's been with us for years, and he still amazes me that he knows all these high school kids' names off the top of his head. And it's not just football. Great job, John, as always.
Well, I appreciate you, Greg. I do what I do, man.
You got a big cranium right there. You got a big old brain to remember all that stuff. Good for you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
You as well, John.
How dare you not know how to pronounce that kid's name?
Yeah, really.
Like I said, it's got a lot of vowels in it.
Goodness gracious. What are we doing here? Genesis Diamonds, the value leader when it comes to jewelry. You want a great deal on a great whatever piece of jewelry it is that you're looking for. They've got all the top designers, so you're getting quality, not some knockoff thing. It's going to be handcrafted, beautiful jewelry made right here in America by those top designers. Plus, you're getting great pricing, direct importer pricing, so you don't have those massive markups, so you know you're getting great value, and you're getting great service as well. They got a staff that's not working on commission, not there to help you, or not there to try and make you buy the most expensive thing in the store, just there to help you pick out that perfect piece of jewelry. That's what you'll find every single time at Genesis Diamonds. Poplar and Perkins Extended, that's where you're going to find great jewelry, great prices, great service. Genesis Diamonds.
From prep football to college football, we open up hour 2 talking to former Memphis Tiger head coach Justin Fuente. And then at 8:30, the Memphis women's basketball coach Alex Simmons will join us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to get your Kia on at Gossett Kia on the bike with 41 MPG and new 2024 Kia Forte LXS $199 a month, $37.99 to its signing. 2025 Kia Sportage $269 a month, $34.99 to its signing. And 2024 Kia Telluride S $359 a month, $39.99 to its signing. And 0% for 72 months on 2024 Kia EV9 Lite available. Plus, you always get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or online KiaCovingtonPike.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars. Acquisition fee $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE794 626 MSRP 21820. Telluride RG453 666 MSRP 39835. Sportage S73 40278 MSRP 29135. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 includes TT&L. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 9/30/24. Dealer stock only.
Hi, I'm Chandler Martin, linebacker from the University of Memphis Football. Southern Security, your home team credit union, voted best credit union in the Mid-South for 6 consecutive years. Southern Security offers the latest in technology with our personal teller machines. Our PTMs allow you to speak in real time with the Southern Security team member through two-way live video. The experience and service you trust and know, delivered at your convenience. To locate a PTM near you, visit us online at southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900. Southern Security is a proud supporter of University of Memphis Athletics, federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in town Memphis.
Traffic brought to you by 901 Eats to Go, 3135 Kirby Whitten Road in Bartlett. Pick up, DoorDash, Uber Eats, or online at 901eats.com. Eats with a Z. Good food fast.
Sports 56 traffic.
at Getwell. We had a crash earlier there. They cleared it. As soon as they cleared it, we had another one occur. Again, it's still slow over here on this side of town on 240 eastbound as you approach Getwell because of this collision. Traffic's on the increase even more now, coming down 51 out of Millington. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Happy Friday to you. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd. Coach Justin Fuente joins us in just a second. We're broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 69. It'll get up to 91 today. Mostly sunny skies, then tonight it will be 73 for a low. Some clouds rolling in, but rain is not expected. And then pretty much clouds, a little bit of sun over the weekend. Again, chance for rain Saturday, about 25%, but not something that's an all-day thing, maybe a pop-up shower. And then Sunday, about 92 for a high. It will start to cool down next week and feel a little bit more like fall than it will the next couple of days when it'll feel like midsummer. James Gaddis Jewelers, second-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. They are your family's jeweler. 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the Memphis Tigers football team, who scored exactly 20 points at Florida State, have scored 20 or more points in 30 consecutive games? That's the longest streak in the nation currently. It started back on November 27th of 2021 in a game versus Tulane. The Tigers will try to add to that when they take on Navy tomorrow in Annapolis. Again, James Gaddis Jewelers, go visit them this weekend. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. Speaking of the Memphis Tigers, former Memphis Tiger head coach Justin Fuente, who really got things rolling with the resurgence of this program. Former coach at Virginia Tech as well. He does some color commentating as well for college football, especially during the bowl season. And a good friend of ours here on the program as he joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you all?
Fantastic. Good summer, I assume?
Oh, yeah. I'm a full-time volleyball dad. Got 3 girls in travel volleyball, and I don't know if your listeners out there are involved in youth sports, but my goodness, what in the heck is going on?
That volleyball circuit is crazy. That's a lot of travel.
It's nuts. And we live here in North Texas, just north of Dallas. And, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's maybe at its zenith here of just craziness. And, I say this as somebody that made their living in sports, but, I mean, it's just so our life revolves around that. And I joke that it's crazy and it's nuts because there's a bit of truth to it, but I'm also very grateful that I get to watch.
Yeah.
There was a long time there where I didn't get to see very much going on with my kids.
Well, I would, and that's great, and I'm sure they're ecstatic about it until Dad gets on their case for missing a spike or something like that. But I would think that most people have dealt with it or are dealing with that because, yeah, it's out of control. The travel teams and all that stuff. I went through it with my kids and all that, but as a former head football coach, and of course these are daughters as opposed to sons, but how do you deal with things when it comes to their play and their game, their performances? Do you leave them alone? Or are you quiet? Or are you back to being a football coach?
Yeah, well, I mean, I take two philosophies on that. One, like the good thing is I know nothing about volleyball. So, I mean, I've seen enough of it that I know probably a little more than I lead on with my kids. But my wife played and coached, so she knows like what's actually going on, and I'm great with that. So that totally excuses me from anything that has to do with, like form and technique and assignment and all that stuff. I don't worry about any of that. But what I do is I make a pretty clear level of expectation of what I expect from my kids in anything they do.
Mm-hmm.
But sports is one of those things in their effort, their attitude, and are they a good teammate? You know what I mean? Like, I just want the coach. I don't talk to the coaches. I mean, they probably think I'm a jerk, but I'm like, you go coach the team. You know what I mean? Like, my job is to make sure my daughter has a great attitude, works hard, and is a good teammate.
Right.
And I want those coaches to say, man, that kid must be a coach's kid. You know, like, to me, that's the greatest compliment you can get. Is I want them to be team players. I want them to play hard, support their teammates, and enjoy it. My gosh.
Exactly.
Like, let's have a little fun. Like, people, like some of the parents that know what I used to do for a living will say, man, you're so calm during the game, during the volleyball game or whatever. I'm like, listen, like, I have actually coached for my rent check. You know, like, this is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is supposed to be an enjoyable, competitive environment, but like, I know what it's like to like really, really need to win, like
Sure
really
do.
badly. so I don't know. I try to enjoy it.
This time of year, as you see football on TV, whatever, like, do you miss it at all?
Yeah, there's parts of it, you know, like, I don't know. My wife makes fun of me. Like, at the end of last season, you know, like, quite honestly, like with the whole Harbaugh cheating thing and then the national championship, like that was a pretty big turnoff just for me as a fan, you know, like I'm just talking about as a fan. And, you know, like all offseason, you know, like I kept telling them, you know, like I think I'm done. I don't think I'm going to watch. I don't think I'm going to, you know, I just think I'm done. And the first Saturday, like I'm parked right in front of the TV watching every single game I could get my hands on. So it didn't last very long. I do miss parts of it. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the teamwork. I miss the singular focus of a mission. You know, like I just miss that part of the structure of it. I don't miss the life. You know, like I don't miss being gone all the time, and you know all the things that come with coaching, but. I miss the players. I miss the coaches. I miss the support staff. I miss the academic people that help our kids in school. Like, there's a lot of it that I do miss, but not so bad that I want to sacrifice everything else I've got on a daily basis.
I hear you. Coach Justin Fuente joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. Real quick, since you brought it up, the Stallions thing, the Michigan thing, I'm not sure if you saw the documentary, and how much involvement there was from the head coach or the coaching staff, or was this a guy doing it on his own because his love, which was just crazy love for his school. But I wanted to ask you about, in coaching, look, stealing signals across the way, you find something that they're doing, they're tipping their hand. I mean, that's all part of it. But, you can go too far, as this documentary showed. As a former coach, I mean, what is right? What is what you think's within the rules that you do, and then what's going too far?
Sure. Well, I'll be happy to give you my opinion.
Okay.
Now, I have not seen the documentary, mostly because the whole thing makes me want to puke. So I just haven't gotten. It's on my Netflix account. Every time I pull it up, it asks me to watch it, and I just can't pull the trigger. So
just say no.
Yeah. So, and I usually watch all that stuff, but this one in particular. So here's the deal. Is it an advantage? Certainly. And let me just say this. You're right. It is not against the rules to observe another team's signs and try to figure out what they are. It's not. Like, we all get that. Like, your job is to try and hide them the best you can. You have to change them. It's a humongous pain in the rear for coaches and players alike, because you're not talking about 25 signals. You're talking about an entire dictionary of verbiage that you're constantly having to change between kids transferring, coaches, being up in the box, being able to look, so on and so forth. But to have an organized, it is very clear that you're not allowed to send people to other people's games. Yeah. That is 100% against the rules. Like, everybody knows it. It's not gray. Like, it's been outlawed forever, ever since I've been a coach for, over 20 years. Like, it's completely against the rules. And then to have an organized system that goes off campus to go do these things, to me, is not barely over the line, but way over the line in terms of what should be expected of common, playing by the rules.
Right.
So do you like the fact now that they've gone to the communication system, and would you have liked that when you were coaching, to have that ability to talk directly to your quarterback?
I love it. Like, I brought it up for not 20 years. That's an exaggeration. I brought it up for a lot of years in the meeting. Like, why can't we talk to the quarterback? Why can't the defensive coordinator talk to the Mike linebacker? Mm-hmm. And we don't have to worry about all this stuff. Do we have to still a little bit? Yes. But why can't we do this? They do it in the NFL. Well, and the answer you get with everything, and every coach out there that's worked, is they say, well, we can't do it for the lower level. That's the excuse for everything. Like, because they're trying to legislate Division III football the same as Alabama football. Well, that ain't even the same stratosphere, right? Yeah. Like, that is two completely, they're trying to legislate the same. I just say we need to give the guys, you guys complain about all these injuries in fall camp. We need to give the guys more days off in fall camp. Let's make fall camp 4 days longer and make them all days off. So we'll practice twice, give them a day off. Practice twice, give them a day off. Whatever the schedule is. So now we can't do that with Division II, Division III. So that was the excuse we got every single year. And then all of a sudden, the Harbaugh deal blows up, and next thing we know, we got microphones in the kids' helmets, which is a great idea. We should have been doing it all along.
Would you like an exhibition game in college football for teams?
I mean, as a fan, I would.
But not as a coach.
I don't know. Here's where I came from. Here's where my opinion is a selfish one. I really think if I had any strengths at all, which it's debatable, but if I had any, I would say, like, getting our guys ready to play the first game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, when you look back at the years, it's all from what I learned with Gary at TCU and then at Memphis, at Virginia Tech. The first game of the year, we didn't go out there and get punts blocked. We didn't go out there and fumble the ball all over we may have in the second game, but in the first game, we were ready to play and not make those huge mistakes that you see week in and week out. So I always viewed that as an advantage. They say, you want to play a big game first game? I'd say, yeah. Because I always thought we could do a better job getting them ready than somebody else. For that reason, I would not want a practice game because I think it would chip away at my advantage. As a fan, I'd love it. I'd love to go. Love to go watch and raise some charity or give half of it to NIL money and half of it to charity, and have a good time. Yep.
Fair enough.
So you said, despite your efforts, you have been watching college football. Anything that is in particular that has stood out to you so far to start this season?
Aside from the Memphis Tigers, right? I mean, they've been fantastic. It's been awesome to watch. I was really happy. I got texts from former players when they beat Florida State. And this isn't, and this is not, I'm not talking about Mike. Like, Mike did a fantastic job at Memphis. And the way things are now, things are just different in terms of the volatility of your roster, right? And he's dealing with what he's dealing with at Florida State. Ryan's doing a great job at Memphis. But I got texts from more than one ex-player saying how proud they are that the program that they left is in good hands. And I'm not just talking about Ryan. I'm just talking about Silverfield. I'm talking about, like, everybody. The fact that they're still good, and they're still very, very good and very, very competitive, and there's a lot of pride in that program. And So I thought that was cool from the former players.
Yes.
You know, to just text and be like so proud and watching the game. So I mean that was pretty cool. I mean, obviously, my takeaway is the super leagues right now. I mean, the fact the University of Oklahoma, which is where I grew up in Tulsa, and is playing in the Southeastern Conference. Like, I mean, what are we doing? This is just ridiculous. I get it, you know what I mean, but it just doesn't make it.
Well, tonight we have Stanford versus Syracuse in an ACC football matchup. Wrap your brain around that.
Yeah, well, how about when the swim teams have to go on a Wednesday from, or what? I mean, it's.
Well, it's all out of control. But Coach, it leads me to this question, and I'm sure you've heard the rumors out there. And again, this would be a decision for ADs and presidents of schools and chancellors and things like that. But as a head coach, you would have your say as well. Memphis and the rumors that the Pac-12 of what's left, the Pac-2 and 4 or whatever it is, would come after Memphis and maybe eventually offer Memphis. Would you? It would all depend on a lot of things, especially money. But could you imagine Memphis in the Pac-12 playing, and then a game in Corvallis at 9:30 on a Friday night on CW or TNT?
They're still going to call it the Pac-12.
Yes, because that's a name that resonates with college football history and Keith Jackson and all that stuff. So they're never changing that name.
Well, yeah, I can imagine it. I mean, you're right. It's going to come down to one thing, and that's money.
Right.
And which we get it. Like I understand that. I'm not naive, but I mean, what we need is a sledgehammer. Like, if you could sledgehammer this whole thing and start over, it's just. I really think that enough of these weird things, we just call them weird things, will happen, that eventually, in the not too distant future, there'll be major change, because it's just an eye-rolling gag fest when you think about what exactly is going on in terms of between the rules they're playing by, which there are none, and the way in which it's organized, which really the biggest problem is nobody's in charge. There is nobody in charge.
Right.
And so it's a free-for-all.
What is your ideal number for teams in the playoff?
I don't know. I don't care, to be honest with you. Here's my point. The problem with college football right now is they are quote-unquote amateurs and also pros, correct? I mean, I think they're going to hold on to being an amateur, and they're also going to be a pro. They are a bowl system and a playoff system. Okay? You cannot be everything to everyone. Let's pick a direction, and let's go that way. We're either amateurs, and these are the rules, whatever they are. If they still get paid a little bit of money, whatever, but we're amateurs with some structure, or we're pros with some structure. Either way, I don't really care. Okay? And we have a playoff system, or we have a bowl system plus a championship game. Either way, I don't care, but nobody wants to play in the bowl games. The bowl games are awesome, but the players, act like they're, being put out to have to go suit up one more time and risk, the 5th round draft pick is worried about, you're a coach and you guys win 8 games and you're sitting in there and you're in bowl prep. And it's supposed to be the fun time of the year, and you got transfer portal recruiting, and you got players in there telling you, they don't want to play because they might get drafted in the 5th round, and they might, and you're like, you got to be shitting me, guys. If you're a 1st round draft pick, I get it, man. We had a kid that was a 1st round draft pick. We got insurance. He played in the bowl game, got drafted in the 1st round. Everything was fine. You know what I mean? I got that. But you got guys that are undrafted free agents worried about risking their, whatever earnings they do or don't have. It's just ridiculous. So let's make a system that the people are rewarded for being in, and it's got a clear, concise organization. What they did was they said, okay, we're going to do this little playoff, which everybody knows it's going to expand. Then they had a secret group that met behind everybody's back, during the pandemic, and then surprised this 12-team playoff on all the coaches, and the coaches are like, we're not stupid. We're like, are you asking us what we think, or are you telling us this is what we're going to do, right? It's like when your mom says, hey, do you want to clean your room? And you're like, no. She says, well, let me rephrase that. Go clean your room. Like that's what they did to it. And it's just, we need direction. And whatever it's going to look like, I think there's merit to both ways, but we can't have it both ways
It's
all
a hybrid.
over the place.
It's a hybrid.
It just doesn't make sense.
I'm putting
Nobody
my
does
fist
things like
down.
that.
Justin Fuente for football czar. We don't have a leader. We need a leader. I'm sure your wife would love that. I'm sure the girls would love that. Justin Fuente takes over. All right.
Yeah.
One more thing before we let you go, Justin. We really appreciate it as always. Got a text from my good friend, Jarvis Greer, from formerly with Action News 5. He wants to know what your
about the injury report. That's what he always asks me every week. It was like a tradition. Jarvis would ask me about the injury.
John, they're not answering that. Stop it. He wants to know the most fun moment you ever had coaching the Tigers, and of course he threw in his opinion. Mine was winning the Miami Beach Bowl and the fight.
Yeah.
What was your greatest moment?
Here, I'll give you two, and I know I'm long-winded at times, so don't be afraid to cut me off. But obviously, beating Ole Miss at home was friggin' awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if I had it to do over again, I would have enjoyed that more. When I look back at my career, I may have been too serious, but the thing that drove me nuts, and you guys don't remember this, but we played Ole Miss on a Saturday, but we had to play at Tulsa, my hometown. Tulsa was averaging 50 points a game or some ungodly amount on Friday of the next week.
Yeah.
And I'm driving in my car through Tiger Lane, and the place is bananas. I mean, it's nuts. I'm trying to pretend I don't see players. I don't see Paxton Lynch sitting in the back of a pickup truck, shotgun in a beer. I'm just trying to get, home, and all I can think about is the game on Friday. You know what I mean? All I can think about is if all this goodwill we've built up is going to be for naught if we don't win on Friday. And that was I should have given myself a few hours, right? At least gotten home and relaxed. And
exactly. You started right in on.
You should have shotgunned a beer. You should have shotgunned a beer.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I that was an awesome moment that I should have done a better job enjoying.
Okay.
The Miami Beach Bowl was freaking incredible. What a football game! Maybe the most nuts game that I've ever been a part of. Plus, the two teams beat the crap out of each other.
They did, literally.
What? And you and Bronco had your thing that week leading up to the game.
Yeah. And then I just remember after the game, I just being mortified, right? I'm just mortified. I can't believe this happened. We have worked so hard, to do so many good things. It's an unbelievable game, and the fight breaks out, and I'm just crushed. And President comes up to me, and I apologize. His first words out of my mouth: "I am so sorry. We embarrassed the university on national television. I can't get over it." And he grabs me by the shoulder and says, "Don't you ever apologize. That's the greatest game I've ever seen." I'm like, "Dr. Rod, you're the best, man. You're the best." I can't believe that.
Not surprised whatsoever Dr. Rudd would say that.
I'm like, man, there couldn't have been a better thing for anybody to say to anybody than what Dr. Rudd said.
Absolutely.
In that very moment, because I was pretty low.
The ultimate pick me up. Coach, it's always great to reminisce and talk college football with you. I'm sure we'll be reaching out to do it again as the season progresses. Hopefully you'll be okay with doing that. We love having you on.
Anytime, guys. I got plenty of time, so you just holler at me, okay?
Well, you worry about volleyball now. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate
it. You too. Take care. Great stuff from Coach Justin Fuente. Great stuff at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Right now, if you're looking for a beautiful truck, they have all those Silverados and 1.9% financing. No payments for 90 days. You can't beat that. So 0 payments for 90 days because your good credit deserves it. just in time for tailgating at the next game. They have those beautiful Tahoes. Now, if you're in law enforcement, you work as a first responder, you're in the healthcare business, military, you're a teacher or recent graduate, you get a $500 bonus when you purchase a vehicle from All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. If you're looking for pre-owned, they have just about everything. Jeeps and Fords and Nissans and Toyotas, cargo vans, and a lot of pre-owned Silverados. And if you got a vehicle you want to sell, you're going to get top dollar at All-Star Chevrolet of Olive Branch. So don't miss this Chevy truck season sale. It's going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Online, check them out at allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, head coach of the Memphis women's basketball team, Alex Simmons, joins us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Just a quick reminder, it's football season, and if you are not spending a little time each weekend watching college or pro ball at Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown neighborhood bar, people might be talking about you behind your back. See, everyone else has figured out that Bell Tavern, with its ice-cold beer, signature cocktails, cozy atmosphere, and incredible staff, is the perfect place to while away a full Saturday or Sunday cheering on your team in a place where people act like adults, whether their team is winning or losing. Bell Tavern is not a sports bar, except for it is.
Summer may be over, but yard work, it goes on. Don't worry, Colonial Hardware makes it easy for you. Colonial Hardware has all the lawn and garden tools you need from the best brands in the business. Ferris, Snapper, Husqvarna, Toro, Echo, Shindaiwa, and Billigo. Servicing most brands of lawn equipment, Colonial's master service techs will keep you going year-round. Colonial Hardware, family-owned and operated, and serving you for nearly 50 years. Next to Bass Pro Lincoln at Sycamore View, and online at colonialhardwareinc.com.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:30 is the time. Schedule will be joined in just a few moments by Alex Simmons, the Memphis women's basketball coach. 9:05, we'll play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Then at 9:25, Brandon Lang, handicapper extraordinaire, will break down some of the NFL and college football games coming up this weekend. I have been informed that there's a power outage. Interesting, after we talked to John Varlas about power outages, that's affecting over 10,000 people in East Memphis. The traffic is backed up with no traffic lights. Poplar and Walnut Grove from 240 west past Highland. Beautiful. So right in my neck of the woods. But again, we're talking about Poplar and Walnut Grove area, so 240 area all the way to Highland with lights out, power outage in that area. So be very careful driving. around that area of Memphis.
Yikes. Can't imagine Poplar Avenue at 8 o'clock in the morning with stoplights out. Gosh.
No.
Good luck.
Not good.
Good luck to all you folks out there. That would be an absolute nightmare to be dealing with that.
As we wait for Coach, a couple of other things. This was an interesting story. Good for Mississippi State. They get an anonymous $8 million gift from a family, again, anonymous, that will go to NIL. It's a nice gift.
It's a really nice gift. That's huge for somebody like Mississippi State. That's big time.
Also, the World of Golf yesterday, they announced, the PGA of America said yesterday that players from the LIV League, the Saudi-backed LIV League, will be eligible for the Ryder Cup and the PGA Championship. Now, they had been eligible, but I think that it was I don't know if it was grandfathered in or whatever, but it was going to change because I thought they were already, but I guess it's now official that they will be eligible if they qualify for both the Ryder Cup and the PGA Championship. Also, from the Grizzlies, they announced an agreement with lending company Robinhood, the official investing, and now they'll wear the jersey patch. The Robinhood jersey patch will be on the Grizzlies jersey, so they'll be the official investing and lending company of the Grizzlies.
Yeah, good for them to get another jersey patch after having FedEx, which I don't remember the last year they had FedEx. I think it was maybe 2021, somewhere in that range. But that's nice for them to have that patch. That's a I don't know exactly how much, but it's a large chunk of money that I'm sure Robinhood is paying to be as that jersey patch. That is very good for the Grizzlies to have somebody back as a jersey patch sponsor.
So how many years now without the FedEx? Did they have it through last year or not?
No, I just said I think the 2021 season.
So they haven't had the patch for anybody. Okay, I haven't noticed. I'm not big as far as the jerseys and the combinations and all this stuff, and just never really noticed that the patch was missing. I just assumed that it was still the FedEx patch, and now they moved on after their contract ran out with FedEx to go to Robinhood. But anyway, that was announced. A topic that we didn't get to yesterday that I wanted to bring up as we still effort to get Coach on, the Hall of Fame 2025 class for the National Football League is the list of nominees came out, and it included 167 modern era nominees, but also 16 first-time nominees. And seriously, some of the names that came up on this list as first-time nominees, I never heard of them. There was a few of them I never heard of them. I assume they wouldn't be on the list if they weren't good, but I'm like, who are these guys? But anyway, there are some that certainly are very recognizable. And Eli Manning is at the top of that list. Now, there's Luke Kuechly, there's Terrell Suggs, there's Adam Vinatieri, which is interesting because, again, kickers, not a lot of them in the Hall of Fame. In fact, who was the last one to go? Was it Morton Anderson? I know Ray Geisen is a punter, but there's not too many of the specialists. Adam Vinatieri is an absolute slam dunk Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Now, whether or not he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know. But Kuechly, Hall of Famer. Suggs, Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Eli Manning, to me, is a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But he is a polarizing figure where some people do not give him the credit he deserves after winning 2 Super Bowls, both obviously over Tom Brady and the Patriots. Because when you look at his other numbers, they're good. They're not great. They're not Hall of Fame numbers. Interceptions, touchdowns, wins, losses, things like that. But 2 Super Bowl wins, to me, that's an automatic. And I think that everybody who has won multiple Super Bowls at the quarterback position is in, with the exception what did they say? Is it Jim Plunkett? Does Plunkett have 2 Super Bowls? Zach, can you look that up if Plunkett has 2 Super Bowl wins? Because he is not a Hall of Famer. But I don't know why this is such a controversial topic. I mean, yeah, maybe he doesn't get in on the first ballot. I think he deserves to be. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he definitely will get in. I don't know whether it'll be on the first ballot or not. I would think there's a chance. Certainly is a chance that he gets in on the first ballot, but I don't know. I'd have to really go down that list to see, but I don't think there's any doubt that Eli Manning ends up in the Hall of Fame, whether it's first ballot or second or whatever. He's going to end up in the Hall of Fame. When you have the 2 Super Bowl titles, and especially the fact that both of them came against Tom Brady and the Patriots, including the undefeated Patriots team. I think Eli Manning certainly will be in. However, on the list of nominees that came out, I will say with absolute certainty, I don't believe Jake Delhomme will get in.
Yeah, but I've heard of Jake Delhomme. I mean, some of those other names on that list.
I'm going to go on a limb and say Jake Delhomme does not, on the first ballot or the 20th ballot, get into the Hall of Fame. I think he just missed out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Mark Bolger as well. Probably not going to make it. I think if he had just put together another, 10 great seasons, he probably could have got in.
The man who replaced
the man. But he just fell short.
Yes, just a little short. The man who replaced the man, Kurt Warner. Yes, Plunkett has the 2 Super Bowl titles, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. I'd like to really look at his numbers compared to somebody like Eli, but there's no question it. And I don't think this is one that is too debatable, but some people like to debate it. I watched Around the Horn, ESPN. They were debating it. The one guy went off on how Eli Manning's not a Hall of Famer. I don't understand. 2 wins over Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, in the Super Bowl is pretty much enough, in my opinion. So we'll see. I still think he'll be first ballot. He's going to Canton. I don't think there's any question.
Plunkett has 2 Super Bowls.
Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Well, we've been talking for, a week or so since it was announced that Memphis, both the men and the women, will be playing October 15th at FedEx Forum in the first Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic. Tickets have been on sale since this past Saturday. It's an event that obviously will benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, but also it is a great dress rehearsal for both the men versus North Carolina and the women versus the defending national champions from South Carolina. And I know that a lot of hard work behind the scenes was put in by both Coach Penny Hardaway and Coach Alex Simmons, the Memphis women's basketball coach who joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. And you can follow Coach on Twitter at APSims2. She joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. So I mentioned the event that people know about now, and hopefully those tickets are being sold at a rapid pace because of the great cause that it goes to.
Yep.
But as I said, this is a great indicator for both the men and the women to kind of see where they are before the season starts. But how did this all come about with you and Dawn and getting South Carolina to come to Memphis?
So, as most people know, we already had a game scheduled. It was a home and home. I believe before I got here, Memphis went to South Carolina, and so the return was for them to come here. And we had a delay with some coaching changes, and they had some schedule mix-ups and things like that. So when we got the opportunity to play in the Classic, we decided that we thought it would be best, and just from a revenue generator for St. Jude, to be able to flip the game from a non-conference game to an open exhibition game. It's time for both teams to display what they have, for fans to come out, and again, it's for a great cause in St. Jude.
Well, and then for you, I guess, with the fact that you already got Tennessee and Louisville on the schedule, you don't want to put like it's a death march you're trying to put together schedule-wise here.
Well, you know what? As everybody will know, the longer that I'm here, we will never have what we call a cupcake schedule or schedule win. So, it's important for us to challenge ourselves, especially challenge ourselves early, kind of see where we are, get a temperature on it, and then continue to improve.
Not every coach has that philosophy, but it's very interesting that the two Memphis basketball coaches, yourself and Coach Hardaway, think the same way, that you want to schedule the hardest schedule you can put together. You want to play all the good basketball programs out there. And that also certainly delights the fans because they're the ticket buyers out there that you need for revenue, and they want to come and watch a good schedule. So anytime, anywhere, any place, I imagine, is the slogan.
That is absolutely correct. And, I think it's a little bit about pedigree as well. That championship pedigree, getting scheduling wins and making it easy on ourselves, that's not what we're about. We're about challenging. We're about seeing where we are and competing against the best.
In women's basketball right now at the college level, obviously, it's their last year, the unbelievable stuff, what Caitlin Clark did and the viewers and everything else for the tournament, the championship game, all that stuff. How can women's basketball continue that momentum and continue to build?
I think we have to continue on the same trajectory, but I think it's also important to find some new faces out there, especially in college women's basketball. Obviously, you have Paige Buchers, you have Juju Watkins at USC, but I think especially in the position that we're in where Memphis is a well-known household name, it's time to start building some of those players who may not be known right now, but as that season continues to build and they continue to build their legacy, I think it's important to start putting the highlight on players from places like a Memphis, like a South Florida, like a Tulane.
See, I think you're right. It's easier said than done. Who is responsible? Who has to do that? Who has to push? It's not quite a narrative, but push those names out there in the limelight where not only are they recognized within this city for Memphis or South Florida, the Tampa area, within the conference, but how about making them nationally? Whose job is it to do that?
I think it actually is a storyline because all of our players have great stories and they come from great backgrounds and some very unique backgrounds. But that's all.
Oh, we're losing you, Coach.
Our SIDs, I think that's on. It's a collective effort. We can't just depend on, as you can see, we just can't depend on their basketball performances and think that, they're going to get their names out there. We have some players who want to play in the WNBA, so that's going to be on us to make sure that they're on some of these boards, but at least by mid-season, conference season.
Well, as we start, getting is just around the corner now, who are some of those names on your team this year that people need to know?
I think especially from a returnist point, Alasia Smith and Hannah Riddick, those are two names that everybody, should be looking out for. Hannah Riddick and her improvement in 1 year in our system has been tremendous. Alasia Smith, obviously, is somebody who I've had for 5 years, but her ability right now, everybody will see her ability to stretch her game. She's improved her three-point shot. She's improved her guard skills. You'll see her a lot more on the perimeter. Somebody that has come onto our team that I think will be super exciting for everybody to watch is Tilly Bowler and Ilana Eaton from Jackson State and from Ole Miss transfer. Those are two players who, when you talk about passion for the game and love for the game, those are two players. They brought it, and they brought a different mindset to our team. And then lastly, Dee Dee Hageman, transfer from Michigan State. Obviously, she's in a very unique situation right now. We won't see her play right away, but when everybody does see her play, you'll see why. We wanted her on our team.
Is it because she's not eligible to play in the first semester, or is she injured?
No, she's not injured. She's got to handle some things academically.
Okay.
And she's working on that. And then once those things get figured out, and once we get the go-ahead, she'll be right on the court.
Yeah, it's a big
she
story.
May be, I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but she may be able to play in our exhibition game. Just not sure with that.
So people get a taste of what she's all about.
Yeah.
That was a great pickup and a great story when that happened. Coach Alex Simmons is joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. We haven't had you on since the end of the season. So since then, we had the big news of the Smith family gift to Memphis Athletics. And, of course, women's sports and the women's basketball team, a beneficiary of that. I would imagine that that doesn't hurt to have that extra money money to be able to use in a world of NIL, which we live in right now. So when you're going out there and looking to attract players, that's kind of having a little extra in that pocket to be able to do so.
Yeah, I think, when you look at our roster even right now, with the timing of the gift and the timing of us recruiting out of the transfer portal, I think we saw how that gift impacted our recruiting kind of immediately. And, I always tell recruits there's a difference between trying to get money and trying to get funds and already having it. And because of that, we've been put in a position, especially for women's basketball, where we have it already. So when we talk about it to recruits, we're not making empty promises.
For you, we're talking about the Tennessee, the Louisville game. Those games that you're going to be playing at FedEx Forum, how big is that to be able to have some games kind of in that arena on that stage?
It's huge. It's huge for our program. I'm not sure that we've actually had a scheduled, a pre-scheduled game in FedEx. Obviously, we played one game there due to some weather issues, but I think it's huge for our program. My goal as a head coach is that at some point, obviously we love El Morone, but at some point we're going to have some conversations about, hey, we need a bigger venue. And so I think that playing in the FedEx is the start to that.
Will you have another exhibition game aside from the one against South Carolina?
We do. We have a close scrimmage probably a week later. We're actually at home. We'll have a close scrimmage against Arkansas State.
Okay, fantastic. And again, as you mentioned earlier, or Eli brought it up, with the schedule that you put together to have Tennessee, to have Louisville, I'm sure when recruits are looking at Memphis, that's part of it, right? I mean, NIL, certainly, coach, the city that the school's located, all that matters. But the schedule, to be able to see that you're playing some of these elites, I think is probably advantageous for you when you're out there recruiting.
It is, and that makes players want to come here because the players that we're recruiting, they want to play the best and they want to compete against the best because they also want to be the best. So how else do you do that? Well, you have to play against them. And then I was looking at another school schedule just last night, and when you put ours against theirs, and they're a P5 school, there's literally no comparison. But I think that, obviously everybody has their own situations and what they're trying to accomplish, but I think that just speaks to the competitiveness of our program and the freedom from our athletic department to be able to schedule how we schedule.
Fun, exciting team last year. I know that'll be the case again this season. I'm looking forward to seeing you on October 15th to kind of kick things off with the exhibition game against South Carolina and then, of course, get you back on the show, Coach, before the season starts for good. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much and continued success.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
You as well, Coach.
Classic Arms, located at 1740 Germantown Parkway, right behind Corky's Barbecue there off Germantown Parkway. Also online, classicarmsofmemphis.com. If you're looking to buy any kind of gun, whatever brand name, whatever kind, whether handgun, shotgun, rifles, whatever. Maybe you're looking to get rid of a gun. Maybe you're trying to sell a gun. Maybe you want to trade your gun for something different. Well, you could go to Classic Arms. They do it all there, and the selection is absolutely unbelievable. Over 700 firearms in stock. So they got everything that you can imagine. All those top names, they've got them for you there. They got the guaranteed lowest price in town. They're the only gun importer here in the Mid-South. Also, they will do free gun inspections and appraisals for you as well. All at Classic Arms. Again, 1740 Germantown Parkway. Online, classicarmsofmemphis.com, where you can shop 24/7. So whether you're looking to buy, whether you're looking to sell, or looking to trade, go see UTJ and the entire gang over at Classic Arms.
All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
you're a contractor and you need concrete coating and supplies in Memphis fast, and you get this answer, I think we can order that stuff, but you're going to have to wait a few days for delivery. Why wait? Get your concrete coatings and supplies now at TSS Supply, where everything you need is in stock. If you're working in the tri-state, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi area, everything you need for concrete coating is at TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road, Memphis. TSS Supply specializes only in concrete coatings and supplies all in one place. If you're looking for a particular item, need large quantities, or just have general questions, call 901-729-0565, 729-0565, or you can email your question to Brad at tsssupply.com. The friendly, knowledgeable folks at TSS Supply have over 150 years combined experience in concrete coatings, materials, and supplies. Come by and visit TSS Supply Friday, September 27th. Sports 56 will be broadcasting live from 7 to 10 a.m. with Greg and Eli, and then John Harden from 11 to 1. Sports 56 will have free giveaways plus breakfast and lunch during the live broadcast. TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte, RE 794, 626, MSRP 21,820, Telluride RG 543, 666, MSRP 39,835, Sportage S734, 0278, MSRP 29,135, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, includes tax title and license, must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 9/30/24, dealer.com.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear it's a family affair over there in Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah.
Yep, we've got something for everyone. 41 MPG Highway and a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. 2025 Kia Sportage, $269 per month, $34.99 due at signing. And a 2024 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $359 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite rear-wheel drive has 0% for 72 months available. You haven't heard 0% in a long time.
Plus, all those bad boys come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five-Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill and I buy houses.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:55 is the time. I'm told that the problems we had earlier on Walnut Grove, Poplar, East Memphis with the lights being out, everything's good now, right? Good to go is what we're being told. Lights are back on. Traffic running smoothly. Good.
That is good. Good for those people. Not good for the people who were stuck in it while they were out, but
no.
Good for those people who are going that area now. Talking with Coach Simmons, and last night in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark in Indiana, their last game of the regular season, playing at Washington. 20,711 people. Largest crowd in WNBA history. And it's interesting because it was the last game of the regular season and Indiana had nothing to play for. So, and like Kelsey Mitchell only played 5 minutes for them, but they did at least play Caitlin Clark 20 minutes. Didn't play her normal 40, but she did play 20 minutes. I'm guessing that the coach probably didn't want to play her at all, but when you've got 20,711 people there, biggest crowd in WNBA history,
right?
You have to play her, and you can't just play her like 3 minutes. You kind of got to play her a good amount, otherwise you're going to be blasted for that, especially when it's a road game.
The Washington Mystics, as you said, I mean, look, they're terrible. They're 14-26. They're not going to the postseason.
Well, they had a chance to go to the postseason
at 14-26.
Yeah,
what is this, high school football in Memphis?
Well, Atlanta won, and so they finished 15-25.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so there was something. There was something to play
they
for.
didn't know like that. They were, if they would have won and Atlanta would have lost, they got in.
Okay, but Indiana certainly didn't. They had already clinched a playoff spot. Wow, 14-26 could have been in the playoffs. But how many were out there to support the Washington team, and how many people were there to support Caitlin Clark and cheer on Caitlin Clark? Come on. Let's be honest here. They weren't. There was probably a few to watch Washington. They were there to see Caitlin Clark.
Well, I mean, Washington normally plays their game at an arena that has a capacity of just over 4,000.
Right.
So
five times as much.
They don't have 20,000 fans demanding to come to their games.
Yeah, and they probably don't even sell out the 4,000-seat arena. So you're talking 5 times as much. Caitlin Clark, I mean, she's had more impact on her sport than you can compare her to Tiger Woods' impact on golf, some others in sports history. She's way up there as far as impacting a sport. Ratings are really good. Attendance is up, especially when she plays, when Indiana comes to town. All their games are sold out. And yet there's still people that do not want to give her the credit. They don't want to give her the credit. Yeah, nobody's saying she's the best player, although she's a very, very good player. Very good player. She's not the MVP of the league, but she's very good. But the point is that she has made it better for everybody, just like Tiger Woods made it better for everybody that came after him on tour. And people understand Tiger Woods, and they give him the credit, but there are some people that just will not want to give her credit. They have a stick up their you-know-what.
It's again, I'll be interested to see what the numbers are for college women's basketball this year without her playing.
Without Caitlin Clark?
If people think it's going to continue what it did last year, it's just not going to. There's no way they could get what they did last year. Now, hopefully they'll get better than what it was pre-Caitlin Clark, but you're not touching the numbers that she produced in attendance or TV viewers.
One player from Iowa, for goodness sakes.
No way you could possibly do what they were doing last year, especially that Final Four in those games. The viewership numbers that she produced were absolutely crazy for college women's basketball.
By the way, the numbers for Eli Manning, got texted this information, 57,000 yards passing and 366 touchdowns.
Again, his numbers are good. His numbers are really good. Every quarterback, though, that plays in this era is way better numbers than the older guys. So it's like that's the thing. It's always hard to sort through that and determine what now is really good numbers for quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's not a top 10 quarterback of all time in the NFL, but he's a Hall of Famer. 2 Super Bowl wins over Tom Brady and the Patriots, and those numbers put you in Hall of Fame status, in my opinion. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration, they're a Hall of Famer to me. They're a Hall of Famer to you if you've used them because you know how good they are. They have a great reputation. If you have a roof issue, whether it be a little bit of a leak, well, you know it's going to become a huge leak here after a while. You need to nip it in the bud. You need to take care of it. Or if it's work around the home, renovation, that's what they do. Restoration, it's Brandon McCullough and Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Call him. He's the owner. 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They do offer financing. Different plans and options that you can choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month, same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes. They do residential and commercial roofing, so business owners, property managers out there.
obviously homeowners. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call them today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on all new roofs. And again, a $100 referral fee for somebody that mentions to somebody that you know, maybe it's yourself, you need a new roof. You go with Pinnacle. For that mention, you get $100 from Pinnacle. Satisfaction with all their work is always guaranteed. Something you don't like that they did, they'll fix it for you. They'll make it right. Carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing, siding, rotten wood repair. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. We come back. We open up Hour 3 with 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Cruiser styling packed with modern innovations, riders of all skill levels choose a Honda Rebel. Incredible motorcycles with a stripped-down style and a full package of features. Both the 300 and the 500 offer compact power inside a lightweight frame. Combined with a low slim seat, the Rebel is easy to start on. And with new colors for this year, they are impossible to ignore. Go to DeSoto Honda to check out the 2023 Honda Rebels. Cruisers with premium style and performance to enjoy every second. Use the street as a racetrack with the law with the owners.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Join us celebrating 26 years of Napa Cafe. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe. I'd sure love to see you.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining there or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and great quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway and the Parkway Center, Poplar Island, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Clearing up a couple of wrecks we've had out here a little bit earlier. It's still trying to get busy over here on 40 westbound. Anywhere you're traveling between Germantown Parkway and Sycamore View Road. It's also increasing on 240 east and west up by Walnut Grove. Inbound on Sam Cooper still looks pretty good now. There's some volume of traffic still trying to sneak up through the Midtown area right now on 240 north over here at Lamar. A Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:07 the time. Hour 3, our final hour this week here on Sports 56 Mornings, getting you set for the sports weekend. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you on this Friday, September 20th, 2024. We're in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, it's where family and fun come together. Go see them this weekend. The world's biggest spa sale continues at 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. Currently 75 degrees. We'll get up to 91 today. Mostly sunny, but we'll see a few clouds. And then tonight, cloudy skies, 72 for your low. Weekend will be a little toasty, but not too bad. And then things will start to cool down next week. Third hour of the program is brought to you each and every day by Jenkins Floors and More. Just good people with a great product. If you want new flooring, if you want new carpeting, and you don't want to do it yourself, you call Jenkins. They will come to you. They'll give you a free estimate. They'll show you the different samples, and then you can go from there. If you go ahead with Jenkins, 2 weeks is what their promise is to you. They'll have it done in 2 weeks. They specialize, as I said, in flooring and carpeting. They have all the top-of-the-line brands. They have hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet. They have ceramic and porcelain tiles. They have the SPC and WPC vinyls. These are scratch-resistant and waterproof. They got backsplashes for your kitchen and bathrooms, plantation shutters and blinds as well. They're located at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. So go visit them at their showroom. They also have stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock, Arkansas, and they sell it wholesale. They skip the middleman, going to save you lots of money. They do residential and commercial, so homeowners and contractors. Makes sense to go to Jenkins Floors and More to buy your product and save money in the process. And you can call them. You can set up an appointment if you want to come by and see them. Tell them when you're going to be there. Make sure that Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins, they're always there, so they're going to be there ready for you. 662-469-9350. They're open Monday through Saturday. They also have a discount for all military and first responders, 10% off. And Sports 56 listeners ask about their family discount. Again, third hour sponsor each and every day. It's Jenkins Floors and More. Go see them in Horn Lake, 2356 Goodman Road.
So Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports the article just went up with the headline, Go West, ? The next wave of realignment is in Memphis's hands. And he talks about here, one of the things he says, the Pac-12's pursuit of Memphis justifies what many in college athletics know to be true. The most desirable remaining Group of 5 program is Memphis. And he talks about that that they kind of hold the cards here. He says, South Florida and Tulane are unlikely to leave without Memphis, and Memphis might not leave without them. This is a package deal or no deal at all.
No mention of UTSA, huh?
Well, UTSA, he talks about, is in a different category because UTSA right now doesn't get a full payout for the American. They're only getting $3 or $4 million a year as a new member. Plus the fact geographically they're a little bit different than these others as well.
So that seems like a no-brainer.
So UTSA is in a little different category than Tulane, USF, and Memphis. But, yeah, he kind of goes through all of the different situations of leaving, not leaving. Talks about the possibilities and money and all that stuff. But yeah, he says that basically it's up to Memphis. Memphis is the one kind of dictating things, and their decision will be the one that has the big impact. And he talks about the idea of waiting possibly for something in the ACC versus going now. He did say in there that the grant of rights that apparently that that it looks like that these schools would be signing with the Pac-12 is for 5 years. So that would be you're tied basically through 2031 that you'd be tied to the Pac-12 from what he understands from people who have, I guess, seen this, what their situation is.
What about a buyout? Does he say anything about a buyout in that?
Well, you could negotiate something, but the grant of rights is the grant of rights. Like they hold your rights for 2031.
Come on, we know what that means. We've seen a lot of schools get out.
Well, no, I mean that's the problem with the ACC right now. That's why these teams can't leave, because the grant of rights. Like they're suing to get out of that. Like if you've got the grant of rights, it's not easy to get out of.
True, but
that's why the ACC teams haven't left yet.
Right, but it's going to happen. Florida, or they're going to renegotiate, as the rumors are, that they will give more of the revenue to Florida State and Clemson because they're and then you're going to get the argument from North Carolina and Miami and saying, what about us and others? So it could be contentious, certainly, but I think there will be a negotiation, and if not, there's the lawsuit. So there's a lot going on to give us a better understanding of what the future is going to look like when it comes to the grant of rights. But two things real quick. We got 10 in a row coming up. Haven't forgotten. But two things. Number one, does not surprise me whatsoever that Memphis holds the cards. Okay, doesn't surprise me whatsoever. But number two, it really sounds good when you hear. Now, there's a lot of scraps out there, but there's some good programs that Memphis is at the top. Because when it came to the Big 12 and a couple of times passing up on Memphis, they weren't at the top. So this is good from a national brand with all the negativity that they've had to have this positivity, to have good things talked about when it comes to Memphis and how much they are wanted.
And he also talked about the buyout from the American Conference with less than the 27 months notice, as he put out. And Chris Vannini talked about this yesterday. SMU paid $25 million to get out. So that's the precedent that is set on shorter notice is $25 million, which I don't know where any of the schools would get that money, but good luck to them as far as that is concerned. But yeah, so.
Did he say anything about the Pac-12 picking up some of that money?
Well, he asked the question, but again, like the Pac-12, if you're taking 4 schools from the America, that's $100 million. Right. And they're already paying whatever. I can't remember what the Mountain West ones are. I can't remember what their exits are.
Wasn't it 30?
I mean, so Pac-12 doesn't have that money to cover all of that for everybody.
Yeah, but I would say, Fresno State, sorry, we said we're going to pay for you, but we're not going to pay for you. I think Memphis is a bigger get than Fresno State. All right, time now for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It is the game show that has swept the nation. If you want to be a participant, you jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now. Don't delay. 901-360-8255. 10 in a row is brought to you by Napa Cafe.
That's right. Napa Cafe celebrating 26 years in this year, and boy, that's something. When you've been open as a restaurant for 26 years, you know you're doing something right, and that's what they do at Napa Cafe. They do great food. That's the number one key for a restaurant, is doing great food, and they certainly have that. And if they've got their 5 different dining rooms, including the private wine cellar. That private wine cellar is great for celebrating a special occasion. So whether you're with a crowd or just having an intimate evening out, they've got the place for you. Maybe you want to go sit at the bar, have an appetizer and a drink for a happy hour. Certainly they could do that as well. They will provide an extraordinary evening with great food and great atmosphere at Napa Cafe. They're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner, starting at 5 o'clock. You can make reservations at napacafe.com. Also, their entire menu available for curbside pickup. If you want to get it to take it home, you can do that as well. Napa Cafe at 5101 Sanderland. That's where they're located. Again, online, you can check out the menu and make those reservations at napacafe.com. NapaCafe.com. The winner of 10 in a row will get a $50 gift certificate to Napa Cafe. Also, a $20 gift certificate to the Crazy Coop and a couple of Malco movie passes.
Okay, not an easy question. Top 10 longest tenured FBS coaches that are currently with their same school. So coaches in the top 10 who have been with their same school, their current school, the longest. I'm not tricking you. I'm not throwing in a coach who's not coaching anymore or anything like that. But it's the top 10 longest tenured FBS coaches currently at their same school.
360-8255, 360-8255. Sissy's Log Cabin listener line to play 10 in a row. Again, $50 to Napa Cafe, $20 to the Crazy Coop, and a couple of Malco movie passes, all going to the winner. Joe will lead us off. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. So Conway, I had a big enough problem where they needed a dye that they didn't have on their truck. Some people might be upset. I see this as opportunity. We got complacent last week. Nick Saban said complacency is the greatest threat to excellence. It creates a blatant disregard for doing what's right. So we got in the lab. We went to Siberia. You know, we climbed the mountains. We're going to avenge Apollo Creed from last week. And if we lose, at least we gave it our best.
I like it, Joe. I like it.
All I know is we pierced Joe and he bled, and I didn't think that was possible. All right, this is a tough one, Joe. Top 10 longest tenured FBS coaches currently at the same school. Kyle Whittingham.
Absolutely.
Matt Campbell.
I'm going to say no.
Pat Narduzzi.
No.
Troy Calhoun.
He's been at Air Force forever, yeah.
Kirby Smart.
Oh, no, he's only been there a few years.
Dave Doran.
Yeah, he's been at NC State a long time.
PJ Fleck.
No, he's just got to Minnesota.
Jason Candle.
No.
Ryan Day.
Absolutely not.
Brett Bielema.
No.
Back with a vengeance.
Hey,
that was a tough.
Got in the lab.
Tough category.
Got in the lab and got it done.
He did get it done.
Joe, congratulations, sir. Hold on.
Congrats, Joe. Man, that's a tough question. Are we doing second chance?
I'll give James and Dan a shot here.
All right, hang on there, guys.
What's up, James?
James, how are you?
Man, I ain't even going to try to follow that. Go Vols. Have a good weekend.
Try to duplicate that. All right. New list. Here we go. Oh, he's not even going to try.
He just said, I'm not going to try.
I didn't think he was literal about that.
Dan, what's up?
Dan, how are you?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
All right, Dan's going to try. Let's see if he can match Joe. All right, here we go. Dabo Sweeney.
Yes.
Mario Cristobal.
No.
Mark Stoops.
Yes.
Mike Loxley.
No.
Jeff Monken.
Yes.
Dave Clawson.
Yes.
Greg Schiano.
No.
Kirk Ferentz.
Yes.
Mike Gundy.
No.
Oh, man, I thought he had it.
Good run.
I was about to say, man, maybe it was a little bit easier than I thought, but that was a good run. Unfortunately, for Dan, a little bit short. Yeah, some of the ones that I used include Kyle Whittingham, 2005. Troy Calhoun's been with Air Force since 2007. Dave Doran, 2013 with NC State. Dabo Sweeney with Clemson, 2009. Mark Stoops, 2013. Jeff Monken and Dave Clawson, 2014. And again, others in that range come up a little short maybe because they were hired in a different month. Kirk Ferentz, 1999. He's going to party like it's 1999 with that offense. He plays like he has an offense from 1949 and then 2005 for Mike Gundy. 19 years for Mike Gundy. That's 10 in a row.
He became a man there.
He became a man. We do it each and every week. It's brought to you by Napa Cafe. All-Star Chevrolet. Right now, they got the Chevy truck season sale going on. They got deals on just about everything. But those Silverados, if you're looking for a Silverado, this is the place. They may have more Silverados than anywhere in the country. Financing as low as 1.9%. No payments for 90 days. That's zero payments for 3 months because your good credit deserves it. Tailgating time, right? All-Star Chevrolet has the best tailgating Tahoes. Now, if you're in law enforcement, first responder, you work in the healthcare business, military, you work as a teacher, you're a recent graduate, you get a $500 bonus. So come check out the
the huge new and pre-owned vehicles at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. And when I say pre-owned, they got a variety: Jeeps and Fords, Nissans and Toyotas, cargo vans. Of course, they have the Silverados, pre-owned and the new ones. If you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevrolet this weekend in Olive Branch. Get the most money back for it. So don't miss this Chevy truck season sale. It's going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Go visit them. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. Or go online, find out more about all these vehicles at allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, oh, baby, Brandon Lang, the always colorful handicapper extraordinaire, will join us to talk about NFL and college football games this weekend and probably a lot of other stuff. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
A lot of ladies here in Memphis are wearing beautiful diamond rings. Have you noticed? And a lot of gentlemen are wearing nice Rolex watches now. It's all thanks to Genesis Diamonds. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and Genesis Diamonds has made fine jewelry more affordable than ever. This is Tennessee's direct diamond import. No middleman pricing on the finest GIA certified diamonds, all shapes, all sizes, all in prices you never thought possible. And Genesis is the only jeweler that carries the top bridal designers in America, so you can find the perfect setting to showcase that diamond and have a truly one-of-a-kind ring. And something that I love, their incredible collection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. These are all in pristine condition and priced right. Thanks to Genesis, you can get that Rolex you've dreamed about. All this with no commission salespeople, no pricing games, no pressure, no nonsense. Genesis Diamonds is the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans and Popular Agreements Extended or online at genesisdiamonds.com.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces: concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash 901-524-6799 or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Witten Road.
Hello, sports fans out there. Walker Taylor here with the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. We just celebrated our 43rd year in business, and I would like to thank our fantastic customers and especially our loyal staff. Time has flown by. We now have a second location, Poplar and Houston Levy in Collierville. Catering is a specialty of ours. 50 to 5,000, no job too small, no job too big. Full service or self-service. We also have a party room in Collierville that is great for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, you name it, we'd love to have you. Also, our barbecue party packs start at $8.75 a person. Barbecue, beans, slaw, bun sauce, including serving utensils. Especially great for tailgating with football season coming up. The commissary restaurants also believe in giving back to the community. Possibly you have been approached by somebody selling a barbecue six-pack coupon for fundraising. Cheerleading groups, church groups, anything to help a worthy cause. Holidays are near. Smoked hams and smoked turkeys will be on the pit before you know it. Come see us at Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Also check us out at commissarybarbecue.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:25 the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Mornings. Of course, Dave Woloshin's on deck. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 comes your way at 10 o'clock. Scheduled this weekend, we will have the Ole Miss game versus Georgia Southern. That'll be at 4:30. So that's our good friend Clay Helton going up against Ole Miss. Big challenge for them. And then Sunday, we got a doubleheader of NFL football. We got the 49ers at the Rams at 3. the Chiefs at the Falcons is the Sunday night game, and then Monday Night Football, the Commanders and the Bengals.
Well, 49ers Rams, you got no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua, no Deebo Samuel, no Christian McCaffrey.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of injuries to big names early in the season. By the way, I saw this from our buddy Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian. The Grizzlies are bringing back the beloved throwbacks this season. The Vancouver Grizzlies jersey, which I think is a really cool jersey. A lot of the older stuff is just better, but it's Vancouver, for goodness sakes. It's not Memphis. But they love it. He said on this tweet, the most popular uniform among the players is back. So if the players want to use it, you use it.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting? Because you got that, Eli. You have the Vancouver Grizzlies throwbacks are used. And then with the University of Memphis, the Memphis State throwbacks are used an awful lot. They're just cool.
I'm a big fan of the teal, so I'm all for the anything with the teal in it.
Yeah, I do. It stands
out.
What about the what do they call those? Each year they do the city
uniforms.
Yeah. Did you see the batch this year?
I have not seen it.
Oh my gosh! I mean, a couple of them are really nice, but most of them, I don't know, man. It's funny because a lot of the comments were like, they're really reaching now, aren't they? Of course, it's all about merchandising, selling more apparel, and making more money.
All right, is Brandon's ready?
We got it?
All right, here we go. Because I am a man of my word. I made the promise last week. So here it is. Time to talk with Brandon Lang.
It's time to handicap this week's action. Joining Greg and Eli is sports handicapper Brandon Lang, subject of the movie Two for the Money.
I mean, I was absolutely nauseous and ready to literally cross the TV, track him down with a yellow lip and all that, and just putting the beating on.
Get Brandon's plays at BrandonLang.com.
Jack Nicholson, up to within. You walked me on that wall. You leave me on that wall. It's like with code and honor. Who's going to do that? You can put him a battery. You can put him a
Also, listen to Brandon's betting analysis on the Believe Podcast Network.
He's not going to last very long in the NFL. I don't care what people say. He will be out of the league in 3 years. I guarantee it. You heard it here first. He will be gone. I don't know what his dad does for a living, but whatever his dad does, he will go in the family business.
Now, here's Brandon with Greg and Eli.
The one and only Brandon Lang with his new Open for 2024. What do you think?
Is there any way we could? I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But saying he's going to go into the family business, couldn't we have kind of inserted there Hector's Car Wash and wherever? I think I said it was a car wash, like in South Central.
You did.
I can't remember. It's hard. I'm trying to cut these down. We got only a certain length we can do here.
Oh, it's been so good. Just gotta tell you, man, we're gonna put him in Hector's Car Wash in South Central Los Angeles. You missed the spot on my Mercedes.
Is there a real Hector's Car Wash in
I'm
LA?
sure if you gave me, I will Google the word. My girl is the queen of Google. I swear to God, if it comes out of my mouth, she's on her phone, Google, and pulls it up within 3 seconds. By the way, I saw something on Instagram. I'm gonna send to you. It's absolutely insanity. A snake, some kind of snake, gets an inch away from a cat. An inch away, like literally an inch away. And the cat's looking at the snake, and the snake's looking at the cat. And in that split second, from about an inch and a half away, that snake makes the move to bite the cat, and the cat's paw comes up, bam! It's one of the most amazing things. You need Will Levis to have those reactions right there. You just do. Because he's a snake! He did it again! He did it again! He did it again! I came on your show and ripped him.
Yes, you did.
And shredded him. And you know what he says? I got to rewire my brain. No, Will, really? Really?
How about the coach, Brian Callahan's reaction?
Oh, I swear to God, I've watched it 1,279 times. I can't stop watching it. I can't. Mason Rudolph, boom, 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 boom. Mason Rudolph, boom, 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 boom. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. After embarrassing himself to the degree that he did in the Bears game, they're 1-0, and they come back home, and to do the same exact thing again. I'm telling you, He's out of the league within 3 years. Hector's Car Wash in La Habra, California. La Habra, California. Hector's Car Wash. They do a great job with your rims too, Will. So make sure you get that going.
Oh gosh! So was it a bad week last week?
Yeah. What was the week like?
Oh, it's great.
Oh,
fantastic. Last Friday night, UNLV outright over Kansas. No, it was.
Yes.
Yep. And then Saturday whiffed with Georgia Tech. Sunday cashed with the Vikings outright. Monday cashed with Atlanta outright. So it was good, but then last night I convinced myself that the Patriots +7 was a really good play, and I should have just stuck to my guns because I think I came on your show. I think I did, week 1, and said just bet every Patriots game under the posted total, and you're going to go 12-5. And it took overtime in week 1 to get over. And I'm sorry, week 2 it took overtime to get over. Week 1 they went under with the Bengals. Week 2 overtime to go over. Last night 24-3. Every Patriot, their offense is so bad. They're so bad that they're calling Eli to come play slot receiver. They're that bad.
So on the Monday night last week, the Eagles at Atlanta. What was the line? What did you have Atlanta at?
I had Atlanta +6, and it goes back to me going this week, and we'll segue right. By the way, let's not bury the lead. First lap game, paddle game, Dom game was a teaser. Texans teased down just to win, and the Chiefs teased down just to win. Right. And her and I are sitting there watching it, and I'm like, don't worry. And she's like, I can't believe I'm going to lose this game. Mahomes sucks. He's the worst. I don't know why people think this guy's so great. That's the first time I've really watched a full game with you watching him, and he's horrible. He throws picks and interceptions, and I can't lose this game. So it's 4th and 15. I'm like, well, but you need a pass interference penalty, babe, because they're just not going to get it. Then she gets the pass.
Uh-oh.
We've lost Brandon. We've lost all connection with Brandon.
See if we can get him. The damn Hamptons.
Right in the middle of his tirade.
You think all the money up there in the Hamptons, they could get some decent cell service.
It's interesting. We had a little bit of... We lost Justin for a second. We lost Coach Simmons for a second. We missed the Langer for a minute. I mean, maybe it's on us.
Is he good? All right, let's try this again. You there?
Where was I?
You were
ranting about something.
She had just got the defensive pass interference penalty.
Right. So she jumps up and she runs to the closet. And she gets the paddle, and I'm like, wait a minute. They still got to kick a 50-yard field goal, babe. Don't get their kicker's the best. He just signed a big contract. He said, I'm like, well, he is the best, but so he makes it. So I'm like, babe, you still got the Texans tonight. Bears could pull off the upset. So don't get. She's like, nah, the Bears suck. I'm like, okay. Let me just remind you about Tennessee last week. So we watched the Texans game, and they were sniffing at the Bears. They were, but she got it. So yeah, I'm just a couple days. So I was walking a little, whatever. But we're good, boys. We're good. So going back the last 2 years, she's now 16-2. 16-2.
I know. It's incredible.
Unreal.
It's incredible. Look, it's documented. It's on the show. We'll get to that pick in a minute.
Yep.
Let's start in the NFL. Look, it's a tough one down in Dallas. The Ravens don't want to go 0-3. The Cowboys don't want to go 1-2. Baltimore is the favorite on the road.
Not really. Maybe I'm. There's 2 games this week that I'm bonkers over, that people actually like the other side. So Dallas beats Cleveland, but yet they only had 252 yards total offense. And then last week, you might as well have taken the Green Bay playoff game and inserted the Saints, because it was the same exact game. It was the same exact game. A duplicate, replica, sequel, call it what you will.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what has Dallas done? Nothing. It's the same defense. And take Quinn, get rid of him, insert Zimmer, same personnel, same results. They can't stop the run. They can't. Kamara was 29 yards downfield before anybody touched him. So did Dallas sign in new players this week? Any new defensive players? Did anybody new this week?
Nope.
I just don't get it. And for me, Baltimore is the better team. let one slip. Listen, last year Baltimore, best record in the NFL, and every loss that they had, they led going in the fourth quarter. And they got the playoffs, got the AFC Championship game, and just got out-coached. Same situation here. They should be 2-0. They had the Chiefs game 1, let it slip away. Had the Raider game 1, let it slip away. What Dallas's weaknesses plays into the strength of Baltimore. I'm all over Baltimore. I'm not a believer in Dallas, and I think Baltimore does exactly what the Saints and the Packers did against this defense.
You love your home dogs, and the NFL is full of them this week.
Yes.
So the Lions at Cardinals is an interesting one to me. Lions coming off the loss. Cardinals, could have beat Buffalo week 1. They do get the win last week. What do you think about that Lions-Cardinals game?
So it's, to me, the toughest game on the board because here's the deal with Detroit. What they did last week was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in the NFL. They were in the red zone, 7 times? 6 times? 6 or 7 times in the red zone, came away with 1 touchdown. They outgained Tampa Bay by 3-1 in yards, and yet figured out a way to lose the game. You got incredible numbers with Detroit here. 6-0 against the spread. First back-to-back, after back-to-back home games, they go on the road 6-0 against the spread. Arizona's 1-6 against the spread at home, coming off a home game. The numbers say Detroit. I'm going to stay away from this game. I love my home dogs. Minnesota was my best bet last Sunday. I'm coming right back with them again this week. I like them. They're not my best bet, but this is the game I stay away from because I don't remember. This is the Arizona coach, the defensive coordinator in the Super Bowl, Philadelphia. Still don't trust him. Mm-hmm. So if Detroit's firing on all cylinders, they'll go down there and they'll win that game. But that's the one I'm staying away.
All right, here's a team that is not a home dog. They're a home favorite. Buffalo takes on Jacksonville. You have the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, for Jacksonville saying, we suck. We suck right now. I don't see how they become better in a week. I think Buffalo drills them.
Yeah, but the problem is this is actually a really good spot for Jacksonville plus the points. I've always said this. Jacksonville's kind of fallen into this trap, which is go against them as a favorite, play them as a dog. Covered week 1 against Miami, came back home and laid an egg. Now they're on the road getting a 5.5 number. Give Buffalo credit, a couple of good wins to start the year, but they did struggle with Arizona at home, went on the road and beat a Miami team that they always beat. Remember, Josh Allen now 12-2 in his career against Miami. So it's a team that he knows and he beats every single week. Now they're being overvalued in a game here. I think the right side, not a game I'm going to play, but I think the right side of the game is Jacksonville.
2-2-0 teams, Chargers and the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Steelers the small favorite there. Does your boy tuck his sweatshirt into his khakis and go get a win on the road?
Yes, he does. Pittsburgh, first home game of the season, last 6 years, 1-5 straight up, 0-5-1 against the number. You look at this, Harbaugh. I mean, listen to me. 51-22 straight up in all NFL games as a head coach. Even better. 17-4-2 against the spread on the road. 8-2-1 against the spread as an underdog. And the visiting team in this series is 5-0 against the spread. I think Chargers go in here and get the victory.
What about the Raiders and the Browns? I think that might be a very interesting game.
It's funny. Watching Cleveland last week get the win, which was impressive. Watching the Giants go in here makes no sense to me whatsoever that Cleveland should win this game easily. They should. But this is just the kind of game where the Giants go in here and play ugly and keep it close. I wouldn't touch this game if you gave me $1 million and said, B, go to Vegas, bet it, and keep the winnings. I'm like, nah, give it to charity. I can't. I don't even watch this game.
Wait,
if
you
it comes on Red Zone.
said the Giants. You mean the Raiders?
You asked me about the Cleveland Giants.
Giants play the Browns.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, no, that's what I asked, John. My bad.
I just would not, if it comes on Red Zone, I'll switch over to Turner Movie Classics with my girl and watch an old Spencer Tracy movie. So
Spencer Tracy.
Speaking of the Raiders, they get to face Andy Dalton and the Panthers. The Raiders only a 5-point favorite there, and then the Seahawks going against Skylar Thompson and the Dolphins at only 4.5. I thought those numbers would be a little bigger.
I agree with you. Like, why are the Carolina has just been destroyed in back-to-back weeks? How in the world are they not laying 10?
Because they like the red rifle, man.
And he's 10-5 straight up, 11-4 against the spread in his career, starting against AFC, including 3-0 straight up and against the spread versus the Raiders. I'm a ginger. He's a ginger. Let's pull for Carolina, but I'm not going to touch that game either. As far as Seattle is concerned, I get it. I get it, Skylar Thompson. I get it. But I'll say it again. I just can't trust Geno Smith laying points. I can't. I just can't. He didn't cover the number last week, and I will lean here toward Miami, but I'm going to tell you it's not a game I'll touch at all.
All right, well, let's get one you'll touch, the paddle game. Hopefully it doesn't touch you. You know what I'm saying? What's the game in the NFL for the paddle?
We touched on it already, but I'm going to give you my other play. What makes people think that the Philadelphia Eagles are a good football team?
I don't know.
They went 1-5 to close the year last year. Then they go out and hire the worst defensive coordinator in NFL history in Vic Fangio. The only defensive coordinator in the history of the NFL to blow a 14-point lead in the last 4 minutes of a football game at home. And then Philly goes out and hires him. Now you take him and Team him with Sirianni, and what do you get? Laurel and Hardy. They followed the Three Stooges on Sunday morning. Absolutely. Now you throw Jalen Hurts in there, you got the Three Stooges, and then Laurel and Hardy on your Sunday morning at 9 and 9:30 when you didn't want to watch church, which was on every single channel in the history of planet Earth. Now, I don't see how Philadelphia goes in here and wins. They're not that good. They're not. They got exposed by Atlanta last week. And by the way, after the Eagles play Atlanta, they're 0-8 against the spread in their very next game. New Orleans, back-to-back 40-point contest. I don't get it. I don't get why. I know when the line maker is going to accept the fact that a good football team, and yet the whole world loves them. So New Orleans, minus the 2.5 over Philadelphia Chargers were going to be the paddle game. And she said it could be New Orleans or the Chargers. She said, you pick. So I'm going to say New Orleans, minus 2.5 over Philadelphia.
All right. In college football, there's the Tennessee has destroyed everybody. Now, two of the games are against nobodies. NC State, we don't know for sure what they are. Now at Oklahoma, who has been okay. I don't know that anybody can slow down Tennessee's offense. I see it right now at 6.5. It blows my mind that's less than a touchdown. What do you think there?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Georgia looked like they were an NFL team the first couple of weeks, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Then they roll into Kentucky, who just loses by 3 touchdowns to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And Georgia goes on the road for the first time as a 22-point favorite. Everybody says they're unstoppable, and everybody says, oh, my God, they're going to win it again. Kirby Smart's reloaded. Oh, my God, their guys are getting pulled over doing 140 on the highway. Who cares? Give them a ticket, send them on their way. And they go into Kentucky, and they struggle. And now here's Tennessee. Everybody says they're unstoppable, going on the road for the first time against an Oklahoma team. I'm just telling you, be careful, Will Robinson. This is the kind of situation where Tennessee's like, oh, it's a little different. We're not playing at home where we're just got our fans and everybody. Go on the road, it's a different story. I'm going to take Oklahoma by the plus points. By the way, Volunteers are 3-14 straight up, 6-10 against the spread in road openers, including 1-5 straight up, 0-6 against the spread when coming off consecutive wins.
Wow. See, that's why we got you on. That's information.
All right.
I'm still going to bet on Tennessee, but that's information.
I know you are. You don't listen to me. You don't listen to me. You just do whatever you want.
I'm going to listen to you about this one.
I'm going to bet on them in first half. I bet first quarters and first halves with Tennessee. That's my thing.
USC, Michigan, USC, first Big Ten game. First Big Ten game, right? They'll play Michigan in the Big House. They're a 4.5-point road favorite. I don't think Michigan too often is an underdog at home, maybe when they play Ohio State, but they are now. What do you think?
By the way, Netflix documentary on Connor Stallion, who stole this. It's unbelievable because if people don't think that when he came on staff, that was the first year they beat Ohio State. And then he stayed on staff, and it was the second year they beat Ohio State. He stole their signals, knew what plays were coming. And now, I want you, Joey Guns, now that you've watched it, I want you to go on YouTube and watch the 2022 Michigan game in Ohio State and the 2023, and you will be shocked at how Michigan's defense almost knew what Ohio State was running. And now that you know they knew what the plays were and he was stealing signs, and you watch it from that lens, you are like, oh, my God. You see it. It's obvious. I mean, obvious. So, anyway, with that being said, I had USC over LSU. I love their quarterback. I love everything about it. I just don't know if they'll be able to stop the run to pull away. But you know how I feel about Michigan. I think USC is the right side of the game. Wouldn't surprise me if Michigan covers the number. But I just think USC is the better football team.
What college game do you really like?
BYU over Kansas State. I had BYU over SMU. BYU is really, really, really good. Like, really, really good. And here's Kansas State, who didn't cover at Tulane, came back home and beat up on an Arizona team that I think that's 3 offensive linemen out. This is a BYU team 4-1 against the spread at home off back-to-back road games, 18-5 against the spread as a dog, including 11-1 against the number over their last 12 games. I don't know why Kansas State's laying this big a number. Give me the coup. I'm going to more. I'm converting to Mormonism for one day.
And final thing for you, you nailed Memphis winning at Florida State. Memphis and 9. It's now 9-point favorite at Navy.
You know, they've had Navy's number. They just have. Even when Ken Palomalo, who, by the way, has resurfaced at San Jose State, by the way.
Yes, he has. Good guy. Real good guy.
But a home dog, Navy, in this series, letdown situation for Memphis. I got to have a light lean on Navy simply because, I was in the Navy. Not a game I love, but this is a Memphis team, 2-3 straight up, 1-4 against the number, second of consecutive road game. So look for a tight game.
Okay. Brandon Lang, he's the best. Thank you, Brandon. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Interesting stuff there from Brandon. Yeah, I'm still betting on Tennessee despite all those numbers. I will tell you not to. But I will bet them on it. It will be a first half bet or a first quarter bet, probably both, but it will not be the full game bet. So as long as they cover the first quarter, first half, who cares about the rest of it?
And I assume he's talking about Navy and the points as opposed to Navy straight up.
Yeah. Genesis Diamonds. Go see the folks at Genesis. Poplar and Perkins Extended for all those jewelry needs. Looking for an engagement ring? Maybe you're looking for a beautiful pair of earrings or maybe a necklace. Maybe it's a pre-owned Rolex watch. Well, they've got a great selection of everything you can imagine at Genesis Diamonds. Great prices, great selection, great service. That's what it's about. You'll get a ring that she is going to be absolutely proud of, a handcrafted ring from one of the top designers that she will absolutely love. She'll love to show off, and you know you're going to get a great price on it as well. That's the great thing about Genesis Diamonds. Not only do they have all the top designers in that amazing selection, but they've got direct importer pricing to make sure you're getting a great deal, getting a great value, and a great staff to help you pick out that perfect piece of jewelry. Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended.
One segment to go before we call it a weekend. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporty luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
The PayPal debit card now earns you 5% cash back in the monthly category of your choosing. Groceries, restaurants, health, beauty, gas, and apparel on up to $1,000 of monthly purchases. For me, it's apparel for online shopping with my busy travel schedule during football season. Sign up for the PayPal debit card through the new app.
Terms apply. See PayPal app. This card is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A., pursuant to license by MasterCard International, Inc.
Ready to take your game day or tailgating to a whole new level? The Crazy Coop on Stage Road has you covered. Whole wings, boneless wings, over 32 mouth-watering secret sauces, jalapeno cheddar, and barbecue bacon bourbon. If you have 6 people or 60, kick off your game day with Crazy Coop party packs for at home or wherever you tailgate. Special bulk prices are a touchdown for you. Visit crazycoopstage.com to customize your wings and sauces like Nashville Hot or Crazy Hot Suicide. Don't forget to add garlic Parmesan fries, fried dill pickles, and refreshing carrot and celery sticks. For the full menu, visit crazycoopstage.com. Burgers, catfish fillets, nuggets, crazy kid meals. That's crazycoopstage.com. You'd be crazy to not visit the Coop. The Crazy Coop is on Stage Road west of Appling, and stay tuned for the new downtown location opening soon. Visit crazycoopstage.com. You're a contractor and you need concrete coating and supplies in Memphis fast, and you get this answer? I think we can order that stuff, but you're going to have to wait a few days for delivery. Why wait? Get your concrete coatings and supplies now at TSS Supply, where everything you need is in stock. If you're working in the tri-state Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi area, everything you need for concrete coating is at TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road, Memphis. TSS Supply specializes only in concrete coatings and supplies all in one place. If you're looking for a particular item, need large quantities, or just have general questions, call 901-729-0565, 729-0565, or you can email your question to Brad at tsssupply.com. The friendly, knowledgeable folks at TSS Supply have over 150 years combined experience in concrete coatings, materials, and supplies. Come by and visit TSS Supply Friday, September 27th. Sports 56 will be broadcasting live from 7 to 10 a.m. with Greg and Eli, and then John Harden from 11 to 1. Sports 56 will have free giveaways plus breakfast and lunch during the live broadcast. TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road.
For life's spectacular moments, only a real diamond will do. At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll discover a brilliant selection of natural diamonds, along with our promise of unmatched quality and service. The only real diamond is a natural diamond from Sissy's. Find yours when you stop by any of our 6 locations or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com. Discover the natural diamond of your dreams only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. And once again, Mark Gaston and Eli Support.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:53 is the time. Final segment here on Sports 56 Morning. Some headlines from last night and this morning, if you missed them. Of course, last night, Week 3 of the NFL season kicked off with the Jets beating the Patriots 24-3. Aaron Rodgers, big game, 27-35 for 281 and 2 touchdowns. One college game last night, South Alabama over Appalachian State, 48-14. And, of course, from baseball, Shohei Ohtani, if you haven't heard this, went bonkers last night, was 6 for 6, hit 3 home runs, stole a couple of bases, becomes the first 50-50 player in Major League Baseball history. That's 50 or more home runs, 50 or more stolen bases. He's now at 51 and 51. You've had a number of teams now clinching spots in the postseason, including the Yankees, the Brewers, the Guardians. The Dodgers have now clinched as well. And this morning, Joel Embiid gets a 3-year contract extension to stay in Philadelphia, $192.9 million. That's the max on his contract extension. And, of course, more information out there, Eli, involving the possibility of Memphis and a relationship with the Pac-12.
Yeah, again, you want to check out Ross Dellinger's article with Yahoo Sports talking about how Memphis is kind of the one that's holding all the cards here. And their decision, and the way he makes it sound is those teams in Memphis, Tulane, and South Florida kind of are together, which is good. That the one thing you can't have happen if you're Memphis is you don't go and all of those other schools do, and you're left in that. So I think for all of those schools, it makes sense to, hey, we're in agreement here. Either we're going or we're not going, but we need to stick together in this.
Yeah, I'm sure conversations will take place if they haven't already started to take place. And again, this is something that probably won't be, if it happens to be something that they're interested in, announced anytime soon. I don't know if any formal invitations are not going to be sent out until they know that they're going to get those schools. Then you'll see the stories about formal invitations were sent out to these schools, and they are expected to accept. They already know that they are going to accept. But I don't think there's any kind of urgency to do it here in the next few days or week or so. There'll be stories coming in every second. But there's also the story that USF has more interest that they should be a Power 5 school or a Power 4 school, and that maybe the ACC is something for them down the road if something happens with the current schools like Florida State and Clemson. You think about Memphis and the travel out west, Tampa, South Florida, and the travel they would have. That's even worse, way worse. So, it's interesting how that may go. But what I do like about Dellinger's story is, according to his sources, that Memphis is the linchpin, that Memphis is the top of the Delta Pledge class, because for so many different occasions and in so many different situations where you thought maybe Memphis would be invited to the ball, they weren't. They weren't at the top, and they weren't even in the conversation. And now not only are they in the conversation, they're squarely the top team. But, again, it's not going to a power conference. Let's get that straight. It's going to what could be, when it's all said and done, the best of the group of 5, which would become the group of 6. Right now, though, they are currently in the best of the group of 5. So a lot of things have to be ironed out before any decision is made.
Yeah, but his point with that also confirms what I believe is, again, if you do believe the ACC is going to break up and going to need teams, you could wait around for that, because I think Memphis would definitely get into the ACC if they added teams.
Yeah, I don't know if they definitely would. I can't say definite with anything when it comes to Memphis, but certainly they would be considered. But this helps, again, with the whole perception of Memphis that nationally they're talking in a positive light, especially with what the football team's doing and hopefully what kind of seasons they may have with the basketball teams as well. That will do it for us today. That'll do it for us this week. We appreciate it, folks. We thank you for listening and calling in and texting in, just being around for us, playing 10 in a row. We can't do it without you guys, and you guys have been loyal to us for many, many years. I want to thank our great guests, John Varlas, Coach Justin Fuente, Coach Alex Simmons, and Brandon Lang. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. We're back bright and early Monday morning starting at 7 a.m. For Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everybody.